sense of loss that I offer my deepest condolences to the family of Honorable Were Ongondo. It's very regrettable and very sad, Honorable Speaker, that a man of this stature lost his life through assassination on one of our major streets in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I have thought about the kind of surveillance cameras we have in the city, and I'm hoping that the IG, together with the DCI, will uncover the killers of Honorable Were and even give the reason why. We must understand the mens rea behind the minds of those who killed this Honorable Member of Parliament. And I have read a lot of issues that have been raised on social media. I do not know how truthful those issues are and whether they are just something being done to cover up for the loss of this Honorable Were. He struck me as an honorable gentleman, Honorable Speaker, who was even God-fearing. And what I have read in the social media does not come anywhere close to the kind of person whom I thought we knew in Parliament. But there is no justification for killing a man, because if you have any complaint against any leader or any person anyway, this should be reported to the relevant authorities for investigations to be done. It is very sad, Honorable Speaker, that a member of Parliament could lose his life today the way Honorable Were did. And I know there are those who will shout and say, why are you only thinking about Honorable Were? Honorable Speaker, there is no death that should be celebrated, either of a young man or of a girl, or anybody who loses their life in an unfair manner and in an unjustifiable manner, Honorable Speaker. And for all this, we condemn as Senate. We strongly condemn acts of violence and any act that brings injustice and loss of life. We must start to respect life as a nation. And Honorable Speaker, the space that I have seen on social media, the way it's being utilized, those platforms are now under gross abuse. And there is a lot of cyberbullying, Honorable Speaker. And not only members of Parliament are facing this, but even women, Honorable Speaker, are heavily targeted. And that's why we also have femicide cases going high, Mr. Speaker, and women losing their lives, Mr. Speaker. So I pray that as a society, we need to have a deep reflection of the actions that we are undertaking. Even as young people, our young people, we need to have a deep reflection of the way we are engaging on the social media platforms. Let's send messages of hope. We should not allow families to be attacked. Honorable Were Ongondo's family should be respected right now.
Senator Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, let me join my colleagues in extending our heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Charles Ongondo Were. This afternoon, led by the Speaker of the National Assembly, we had occasion to pay our respects as his colleagues. He's lying at the Lee Funeral Home, and we also had occasion to go to his home in Karen to condole with his family. The MP for Kasipul has left a very young family, Honorable Speaker, and assurances have been given from this institution by the Speaker of the National Assembly that they are our family. As an institution, they will remain our family, and when they come knocking on our doors, those doors, they will find them open. Honorable Speaker, as a senator of Nairobi where this incident happened, it is quite unfortunate because we have to explain to the people of the country what the state of security in Nairobi is. I have held the position that, in fact, no one is safe until all of us are safe, and that somebody can be gunned down in broad daylight or even early hours of the night in a place that is properly lit, a place that has cameras, a place that is very busy. There are police officers present on the scene. It speaks to something that these criminals know, that somehow they believe that they can actually get away with it. Honorable Speaker, we continue to ask the police to do a very thorough investigation. In fact, a proposal has been made that just the way that I saw the Leader of Majority and his community having an engagement with the Inspector General of Police, perhaps we need to have a Kamkunji as well with the Inspector General of Police in the precincts of Parliament here, so that we can also ask him some questions, like I saw the residents of Transmara asking direct questions to the IG in terms of the security situation in that particular region and the police response that led to the killing of over 5 people. Honorable Speaker, as the SG of ODM, I take this opportunity again to register the condolences of the party, the entire party, to the family of Ongondo Were, to the people of Kasipul, and want to urge them, Honorable Speaker, because we have planned that tomorrow we will be having a memorial at Consolata Shrine in Westlands, and then we will be interring him on Friday. We hope that we can have an event that is respectful enough of the dearly departed member, and that it will be devoid of unnecessary sideshows, Honorable Speaker. We as a party are going to put in place whatever mechanisms we can. But you know, people imagine that political parties have a lot of power, Honorable Speaker. ODM does not have powers to arrest anyone. We do not have powers to provide security. We also depend on these institutions of state. And if the police don't do their jobs, then all of us are at risk. I want to finish there, Honorable Speaker, and wish that the soul of our brother, Charles Ongondo Were, we used to call him Sir Charles, rests in eternal peace. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to join you in welcoming our colleagues back from the short recess. And hope that, Mr. Speaker, in the days that follow today, Mr. Speaker, we shall be able to apply ourselves to the tasks ahead of us. Mr. Speaker, I join my colleagues in condoling the family of our departed friend and brother, Honorable Charles Ongondo Were, who met his death, Mr. Speaker, in the very, very mysterious circumstances. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Charles Were was a friend, and not just a friend, he was a teammate. Mr. Speaker, remember we have teams in this parliament, and Honorable Were was one of the members that were doing the tug of war for the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya, and we pulled the rope with him. A very, very committed leader, a very committed sports person. So, Speaker, I only find consolation in the word in the Bible, the book of Job 4:1, that a man born of a woman is short of days and full of trouble. That any man born of a woman will surely have to die. Mr. Speaker, the only thing that we are asking is that the security of every Kenyan is important. That the death of Honorable Ongondo Were came shortly after the killings that have been reported in Angata Barikoi, in Narok County. The Speaker is reason to get worried. And I want to associate myself with the sentiments expressed by Senator Sifuna, that perhaps as Parliament, the entire Parliament, we need to have a conversation with the Inspector General of Police on matters security, not just for members, but the security of every Kenyan in every corner of this country. So, Speaker, this morning, a bus was impounded on its way from Mombasa to Meru in Kitui, carrying explosives disguised as milk in some cartons, complete with the apparatus used for detonating the explosives. Mr. Speaker, it is very, very important that this country feels secure. As things stand now, everybody is scared about their lives. I want to call upon the police to tighten security and ensure that every Kenyan in every corner of this country feels secure. Mr. Speaker, may the soul of Honorable Were rest in God's eternal peace. Amen.
Senator Beatrice Kenya.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to mourn a gallant son of Homa Bay County. Honorable Speaker, the loss of Sir Charles Ongondo Were, as we refer to him, is not only a loss to the Kasipul constituency team, but to Homa Bay County at large, to Parliament, to Kenya, and to the ODM party. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ongondo Were was a utility player of the parliamentary team of Homa Bay County. He was a man that was reliable. Ongondo Were was a team player. And Honorable Speaker, Sir Charles was a player that anybody would rely on. If Ongondo Were believed in you, Honorable Speaker, he had no two ways about it. He's a man who said yes when he meant it and no when he meant it, Honorable Speaker. The Kasipul fraternity has lost a worker. In Kasipul constituency, Honorable Speaker, Ongondo Were is referred to a husband of the widows, all the widows in Kasipul. Ongondo Were was referred to the father of all orphans in Kasipul constituency. Honorable Speaker, not everybody will like you in this life, but I can tell you Ongondo Were was somebody who was celebrated by the people who believed in him. We call for calm. As I've said, he had friends across both houses of parliament. Ongondo Were had friends across from the National Assembly to the Senate. And I can tell you, Honorable Speaker, is indeed a great loss to all of us. I condole with the family, particularly Margaret and Anne, to the young children that he has, to his larger family. Ongondo Were had names, all the names in our region. We called him Jakowaro, we called him Sir Charles, we called him Ogai. And indeed, he was an Ogai to us. May the soul of Sir Charles Ogai Jakowaro rest in peace. And we welcome everybody who will be traveling down to Homa Bay to condole with us and to give Sir Charles the last respect, and we assure you that everything is in place. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Sigay.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to also join my colleagues in mourning the late Honorable Were. And as everyone has said, one life is as important as the rest of us. Losing one man, whether he's a member of parliament, whether he's not a member of parliament, is so painful to the country that whenever we have an incident like the circumstances that led to the passing on of the Honorable Were, everyone would condemn in the strongest terms possible. And even as we mourn him, we also call upon the relevant government agencies and institutions involved in the investigations to ensure that it is not only going to get us to the bottom of what caused the assassination of Honorable Were, but also the security of the rest of us Kenyans. Whenever such incidences happen, everyone else feels unsafe, and we would want to live in a country where you can see tomorrow because of the security situation that the country is experiencing. Honorable Were was one of us in the parliament, and the people of Homa Bay and the people of Kasipul Kapondo, the constituency that he represented, are mourning with us and with the rest of the country. And we ask that his soul be rested in eternal peace, and urge Kenyans to also be calm, keep calm, and be at peace to allow the relevant government institutions to conduct their investigations and hopefully get to the bottom of it and give the country a report as to the cause of this very painful death. Mr. Speaker, we pray that the family of the late Ongondo Were be also comforted by words of encouragement that has come from across the country. And as they prepare to put his soul to rest, we support them in whichever way and manner that we can as a House. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wafula.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity on behalf of the people of Bungoma and the residents of the Republic of Kenya. I want to raise our condolences to the family of Sir Charles and condemn the untimely, brutal killing of our honorable member. Mr. Speaker, sir, my interactions with the Honorable Sir Charles was a humorous man. Sir Charles was a gentleman who liked doing exercises. At a time like this, when free, he will be at the gym, ensuring that he is fit to face the turbulent political experiences at the grassroots level, Honorable Speaker. And it was with great shock to realize that, Honorable Speaker, that after his demise, we are still gazing, we are still hoping and wishing that answers are given at this part of the moment. The only thing that I request, Honorable Speaker, is that if Sir Charles was tracked from the house to where he was gunned down, then who are we as honorable members not to take serious our security situations in this country? It means, Honorable Speaker, that all of us must be prepared at any time to face an attack or an assault. And also, Honorable Speaker, to request that through the leadership of the House, that the security personnel we have are constantly exposed to swift security drills that can enable them to be proactive and not to see what happened to Sir Charles. I want to pray to God that he gives Sir Charles eternal peace. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Esi.
Asante sana Bwana Spika kwa nafasi hii, na ningependa kujiunga na wenzangu kumwomboleza marehemu mbunge wa Kasipul Ong'ondo Were, nikitoa rambirambi zangu kwa familia, marafiki, wakazi wa sehemu hile kwa kumpoteza mbunge wao kwa njia tatanishi mno. Bwana Spika, Bwana Spika, ikumbukwe kuwa mbunge huyu alikuwa ametoa malalamishi katika vitengo vya usalama, lakini malalamishi hayo hayakuchunguzwa na matokeo yake amefariki. Kweli dunia jukwaa, lakini amefariki kwa njia ambayo inatukumbusha sisi kama wabunge kuwa mambo ya usalama si wabunge tu, kila mtu pale nje usalama haupo. Na inasikitisha kuwa kama mbunge anayewakilisha idadi kubwa ya wananchi anaweza kuuawa njia ile, sembuse raia wa kawaida je? Bwana Spika, ningependa kujiunga na wenzangu ambao wanasema jambo hili lichunguzwe ili tuweze kujua mauaji haya yalitekelezwa na nani na nia ilikuwa ipi, ili tusipoteze maisha katika njia kama hile. Na nikisoma katika vyombo vya habari naona kuwa kuna askari ambao wanahusishwa na kuhusika katika mambo hayo. Najua si askari wote wabaya ambao wanatekeleza mambo kama hayo, lakini kwa wale ambao wanatekeleza mambo kama hayo wajue kuwa dunia jukwaa, leo ni wewe, kesho mwingine. Mungu ailaze roho ya marehemu Charles Ong'ondo Were pali pema peponi. Asante sana Bwana Spika.
Senator for Kilifi, Senator Mazaya.
Asante mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza nataka kutoa rambirambi zangu kwa familia na jamii, marafiki na wale wote waliokuwa karibu na familia ya Charles Ong'ondo Were. Bwana Spika, kama tunavyoelewa ni kwamba familia hivi sasa wanalia kwa sababu walipoteza mzee wao. Familia ya Mheshimiwa Were ni familia ambayo katika huzuni wakati huu. Bwana Spika, sio wakati wake kwamba aliweza ulikuwa umefika wakati wa Mwenyezi Mungu, lakini ni mambo yaliyotendeka na majambazi. Jambo la kusikitisha kabisa ni kwamba baadhi ya hao majambazi wengine wao ni mapolisi, na hili ni jambo la kusikitisha sana. Ikiwa sisi sote tunalindwa na maaskari na alafu hao askari hao wanatuendea kinyume, itakuwa ni jambo la kusikitisha sana. Bwana Spika, tunataka uchunguzi ufanywe kisawasawa, na wale watakaopatikana na hatia hukumu iweze kupeanwa kisawasawa vile vile, kwa sababu waliokitenda ni jambo la kusikitisha. Na pia vile vile kuona ya kwamba hivi sasa waheshimiwa wengi sasa katika hali ya kwamba sintofahamu ya kuogopa, kutojua ni nani mwingine atakayeangushwa na risasi. Bwana Spika, tunaomba tu ya kwamba wale maaskari hata wale wote waliohusika, ni kwamba kile kitendo kilichofanyika ni kitendo kimefanyika kwa mheshimiwa, na tujue hawa waheshimiwa wengine pia, hata ikiwa huko na askari, lakini ikiwa askari atakuwa hawezi kutetea, itakuwa jambo pia vile vile kusikitisha. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, mimi tunataka kusema kwamba kwa wale waliofiliwa na mpendwa wao, nataka tuweke mbele za Mwenyezi Mungu, tuwaombee, tujue ya kwamba hilo ni kosa lilifanyika, ni mauti yalifanyika ya Ongondo Were, na kwamba Mwenyezi Mungu ataweza kuiweka roho yake mahali pema peponi. Asante sana Bwana Spika.
Senator Fanyamira, Senator Magena.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's with deep feelings of sadness and grief that I also convey my message of condolences to the family of our departed colleague, Ongondo Were, whom I personally knew and interacted with last time ODM Azimio at a meeting in Oyugis. Mr. Speaker, we all must join hands in condemning this senseless act of murder. We should never allow a situation, Mr. Speaker, where the only way people can respond to any grievance is through murdering a fellow citizen. And Mr. Speaker, this also calls for the government to ensure that the security of all Kenyans, not just honorable members of parliament, that for all Kenyans, their security should be guaranteed, their security should be secure, Mr. Speaker. We look to no one else but other than the government of the day to ensure that our security is guaranteed. Mr. Speaker, I hope that all security agencies will do all that is humanly possible to apprehend those who are behind the killing of Honorable Ongondo Were. Mr. Speaker, the only way you can deter future crime is by ensuring that those who plan and execute such murders, Mr. Speaker, are apprehended, brought to book, and made to pay painfully for the crimes that they have committed. But I've also gone through serious reflection, Mr. Speaker. I've looked at social media and seen the kind of hatred and anger that Kenyans have against us, members of parliament. And I've just wondered, is it that Kenyans are in a state of hopelessness, or is it that we have let down Kenyans? What would make me sit here and celebrate if, by God forbid, my colleague Senator Cheruiyot drops dead? I mean, how inhuman can citizen be against a fellow countryman or woman? I mean, what I read in the social media made me wonder. And I want to travel all the way to Kasipul you know, to look at the people of Kasipul, just to understand what
Senator Oburu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I also want to join my colleagues in mourning and condoling with the family of the late Charles Ongondowere. Ongondowere was a great friend and also somehow related to us. His first wife came from Siaya, and she's late. And we want to condole sincerely with the family for this very, very big loss. Mr. Speaker, when we talk of security of leaders, the security of leaders must be taken seriously. Our colleagues don't want to say the truth, that they are saying that security should be taken over all the other Kenyans. Every Kenyan is entitled to security. But leaders are entitled even more because they have more enemies. So, Mr. Speaker, we must seriously sit down with the IG and discuss our own security because we have lost so many leaders. And when you lose a leader, there is a chain of people, a very big, big loss to the whole country. It is not just loss for the family. It is a loss for the country because this man was a very, very able legislator. He was also a very passionate representative of his people. I attended so many meetings with him. Mr. Speaker, every meeting I attended with Ongondowere, he was always passionately speaking on issues concerning his people and making demands. And Mr. Speaker, that is our role. Our role is to represent our people because not every one of our people can come here and talk for themselves. And this is where the resources of the country are shared. And he wants his people also to get their fair share. And Mr. Ongondowere has been very, very passionate about representation of his people, demanding that they get their fair share of the national cake, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I know that in that role, there are many people who he earns very many enemies in the process. Mr. Speaker, this is so with so many of us here who are doing their job, but there are people who see you as enemy because they see you as wanting to entrench yourself forever in your seat. Mr. Speaker, it is not because you want to entrench yourself forever. It is because you are passionate to deliver services to your people. Mr. Speaker,
Senator Kinyua.
Asante Bwana Spika. Na kwa uchungu mwingi Bwana Spika, nataka kuungana na maseneta wengine kuomboleza kumpoteza kwa mbunge Sir Charles Were wa Kasipul. Bwana Spika, Mheshimiwa Were namjua kwa sababu kila wakati nikienda katika ukumbi wa michezo wa gym, Bwana Spika, nampata pale kwa sababu yeye kila wakati ni mtu wa kutaka kufanya mazoezi Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, nimemjua pale na nikamjua kama mtu mcheshi sana Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, ni uchungu mwingi yule mbunge kuuliwa, kupigwa risasi Bwana Spika. Na kile ambacho maswali ambayo yalikuwa yanapitia katika akili yangu Bwana Spika, yeye alikuwa na walinzi wake. Hakuna ripoti yoyote inaonyesha kwamba Bwana Spika, walinzi wake walijaribu kuwafurusha wale ambao walikuwa wakijaribu, walimuua yule Mheshimiwa Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo maswali tunayojiuliza, hawa walinzi Bwana Spika, kazi yao ni ipi Bwana Spika? Bwana Spika, kile kingine ambacho kinaniudhi zaidi ni ya kwamba Were alikuwa amesema maisha yake yamo hatarini Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, najiuliza mkuu wa polisi wa Jamhuri ya Kenya alifanya nini kuzuia hilo jambo kutendeka, Bwana Spika? Haya ni maswali ambayo, Bwana Spika, hayapati jawabu. Na vile vile, Bwana Spika, ukiangalia katika vyombo vyetu vya habari na vile vile ukiangalia katika mitandao ya kijamii, Bwana Spika, watu wengi wanaongea maneno mengi. Ikiwa mtu yeyote ako na maneno ambayo angesaidia katika kuleta jawabu ya maswali yanayoulizwa na Wakenya, Bwana Spika, aambie maafisa ujasusi, Bwana Spika, ambao najua angefanya lile kazi vizuri, Bwana Spika, badala ya kuandika katika vyombo vya habari, kwa sababu vyombo vya habari havitasaidia zaidi. Kwa hivyo, Bwana Spika, langu ni kuungana na wakaazi wa Kasipul Kabondo kusema pole kwa niaba ya watu wa Laikipia, na kusema ya kwamba tumempoteza kiongozi ambaye alijitolea, Bwana Spika, kufanya kazi ambayo aliyopewa kufanya na aliyochaguliwa kufanya. Kwa hivyo, Bwana Spika, langu ni kusema pole na kutakia watu wa Kasipul Kabondo mema, na vile vile kusema roho ya Mheshimiwa Charles Were iwekwe mahali pema peponi. Asante, Bwana Spika.
Senator Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On my own behalf, my family and the people of Nandi, I want to take this opportunity to pass my deepest condolences to the family of Sir Charles Ongondo Were. Mr. Speaker, he was an amiable man. We used to take tea at the Bunge restaurant, and he was very jovial at all times, Mr. Speaker. I never knew that he would fail by the assassin bullet. Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the police and DCI for the speedy investigation and arraignment of suspects who might have killed Honorable Ongondo Were, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if members of parliament are not safe, then Kenyans are not safe, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even as investigations continue into the alleged death of the late Mheshimiwa Ongondo Were, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask leaders to be cautious while making statements. I was embarrassed by the statement of Governor of Homa Bay, Governor Gladys Wanga, of trying to link the unfortunate incident of the death of Ongondo Were by linking it to broad-based, Mr. Speaker. If there are problems of local politics with Homa Bay, she should just restrain there. And issues of zoning, reducing ourselves to village politicians, Mr. Speaker, is very unfortunate. And therefore, she must withdraw and retract that statement. The Homa Bay County and the nation needs the peace that we need as a nation, Mr. Speaker. I know we are emotional, but that one should not justify any reason to make reckless and embarrassing statements, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, this cyberbullying, and I want to agree for the first time with Francis Otwoli, that social media must be regulated. Even as politicians, we are human beings, we have families, we have friends. There is no death that is better than the other. There is equity in death. Mr. Speaker, in as much as we are pushing the police in conclusion to fast-track the investigation and arraignment of assassinations of Honorable Ongondo Were, we must also be told who killed the 6 people in Angata Baragoi, Mr. Speaker. The police shot. The allegations we have, no one has been arrested over the Angata Baragoi incident, Mr. Speaker, up to today. Yet scores, they were buried yesterday, Mr. Speaker. We must be told who killed the people of Angata Baragoi. It is the sad reality is that in Interior Ministry, there is incompetence that is costing lives, Mr. Speaker. And I think it's the high time that the President must change the security apparatus in this country, Mr. Speaker. You saw even in Baringo, Mr. Speaker, where people are being killed like dogs, Mr. Speaker. Kerio Valley, incompetence is costing lives, Mr. Speaker. And it is high time that C.S. Murkomen must resign. There is more insecurity that in this country than has happened, Mr. Speaker. I wish you would borrow notes from Professor Kithure Kindiki, Mr. Speaker, so that we are safe. I saw Boni Khalwale also complaining, Mr. Speaker, and you know he has several homes and wives. So we are not saying the government should provide security for all the wives of Senator Boni Khalwale, but we want everybody to feel secure, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chimera.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa fursa hii. Kwa niaba yangu binafsi, familia yangu na kwa niaba ya watu wa Kwale, nataka nipeane risala zangu za rambirambi kwa familia ya marehemu Charles Ongondo Were, jamii na marafiki kutoka eneo bunge la Kasipul kwa kumpoteza kiongozi wao huyu. Bwana Spika, kifo cha mheshimiwa huyu ni jambo la kushangaza sana, kuona kwamba kiongozi wa namna ile anaweza poteza uhai katika ile hali aliyopoteza raia wake, Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, nimemfahamu Mheshimiwa marehemu Charles Ongondo Were kwa muda wa kipindi kifupi sana. Tumekuwa tukifanya mazoezi na yeye pale katika chumba cha mazoezi cha bunge, na alikuwa mtu mcheshi, mtu ambaye alifahamu historia ya uongozi wa nchi hii vizuri sana, na mara kwa mara alikuwa anapenda kunirai kwamba niweze kujiunga na chama chao cha ODM, Bwana Spika. Lakini nikawa namkumbusha kwamba mimi ni generali wa Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto, na tukawa tunazozana sana katika hali ile, Bwana Spika. Ni uchungu sana kumpoteza kiongozi yule, na naomba tu Mwenyezi Mungu amsamehe dhambi zake, amrehemu, amweke mahali pema palipo na wema. Na vile vile, Bwana Spika, nichukue fursa hii pia nizungumzie kuzile sera ambazo zimezungumzwa katika mitandao ya kijamii. Wakenya wamepeana hisia zao kuhusiana na kitendo hichi chote, na wengine wamefurahia, wengine pia wana huzuni. Sio jambo zuri kwamba tunasherehekea kifo, hususan kifo cha kiongozi. Bwana Spika, kifo ni uchungu sana, na sisi sote pia tutapitia safari hiyo. Kwa hivyo niwaombe tu Wakenya wawache kuwa na semi zile na hisia zile, tuipatie fursa watu wa vyombo vya usalama waweze kufanya uchunguzi wa kina. Wale ambao watapatikana na hatia, Bwana Spika, sheria kali na hatua kali za kuchukuliwa, na kuhakikisha kwamba familia hii ya Mheshimiwa marehemu Charles Ongondo Were imeweza kupata haki, Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, asante sana. Mwenyezi Mungu aweze kumsamehe dhambi zake Mheshimiwa Charles Ongondo Were.
Senator Isaboy.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii na mimi niweze kuchangia na wanaseneta wenzangu kwa kifo cha mwenzetu mwenda zake Mheshimiwa Charles Were. Mheshimiwa Spika, ilikuwa ni shock kubwa sana. Manake ni siku hiyo mimi nilikuwa hapa bungeni, nilikuwa nimekuja kikazi yangu kuja kufuata mambo yangu, tukakutana naye hapa chini hapa. Na nilikuwa na karatasi yangu nataka kusainiwa ya pasako bunge sako. Basi wakaniambia nisubirie hapo kidogo nitakuona, lakini bahati mbaya mimi nikakimbilia kwa mtu mwingine akanisainia, so hatukuweza kumaliza. Baada ya muda jioni nikapata habari kwenye taarifa habari kwamba ametuacha yeye mheshimiwa mwenzetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna haja sisi viongozi kama wabunge, maseneta tuweze kupata ulinzi wa kutosha kabisa. Kwa sababu mlinzi mmoja sasa hii pia hatoshi. Wewe umeona wewe mwenyewe juzi huyu kiongozi amepigwa risasi akiwa na bodyguard wake mmoja. Je, sisi wengine ambao tuko na bodyguard mmoja na pia hali zetu kama hivyo, sisi tutakuja kumaliza wakati mmoja? Mimi naomba kama maseneta wenzangu tuweze kuhakikisha kama tuongeze ulinzi. Tupate ulinzi wa kutosha Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa sababu hali kama hii mwenzetu leo ameondoka, hatujijui sisi wenyewe tutakuwa namna gani kesho. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, yangu ni kupeana rambirambi zangu na risala kwa familia ya marehemu. Mwenyezi Mungu alaze mahali pema peponi, na sisi viongozi wenzetu tuweze kujihadhari na tuweze kujikinga, kwa sababu mauti hutokea wakati wote. Lakini lazima tuongee na lazima tuseme ukweli kwamba tupate ulinzi wa kutosha. Au sivyo? Mbona msemi basi mkasema tuongezee bwana? Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi kunipa fursa hii kujiunga na maseneta wenzangu pamoja na wewe Spika kutoa rambirambi zetu kwa mwenda zake Charles Ongondo Were ambaye alikuwa ni mbunge wa Kasipul. Mheshimiwa Spika, mwaka juzi tulitembelea nyumbani kwake, tulikuwa tumekwenda kwa mkutano kule Homa Bay na akatufariji kwa chakula cha mchana hiyo siku Mheshimiwa Spika, na tulijua kwamba kweli apendwa na watu wake, na vile vile pia ni mtu ambaye si mtu wa kutaka makubwa Mheshimiwa Spika. Na mara nyingi utampata bunge hapa anafanya kazi zake na anaendesha shughuli zake bila ya kuwa na mambo yote ambayo yalikuwako si ya kawaida. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, kifo chake ni pigo kwa chama chetu cha ODM, ni pigo kwa bunge na ni pigo pia kwa taifa Mheshimiwa Spika, hususan kwa sababu ameuliwa katika hali ambayo yatatanisha. Mheshimiwa Spika, usalama ni kweli umezorota na ipo haja ya taasisi husika akiwemo waziri, IG wa polisi pamoja na taasisi nyingine kuchukua hatua za haraka ili kujaribu kuzuia mmomonyoko huu wa usalama katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii.
Senator Beth Siango.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance.
On my own behalf and on behalf of all the ODM women and all the women in this nation, I send my heartfelt condolences to the family of Honorable Charles Ongonto Were and the people of Homa Bay, and to our party ODM. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Were was a gentleman. As the leader of the women in our party, I had several chances to interact with him and to work with him. And for the times that I went to Kaspul to do women activities within the constituency, I can confirm that Honorable Were was loved by his people. He loved his people. He served his people with commitment and a lot of dedication. It is a shock that he died in the manner that he died. Mr. Speaker, my biggest concern is to how Kenyans are taking death nowadays. As a parent, as a patriotic Kenyan, I can see that we are losing empathy. It is not usual for people to celebrate over death. Whether death of an enemy or death of a friend, it is so bad to see people on social media celebrating and writing things that are not good about a person who has passed on. Honorable Speaker, where I come from, even when a thief dies, people will give beautiful testimonies, but they don't talk bad about a person who has passed on. I would only ask Kenyans that we get back to our culture, our root, and religion, and be empathetic with the families that have lost their loved ones. It is important that even if who has passed on was your enemy, he has a family, he has friends, and there are people who value that person, and they are hurting. It is not good to speak bad about a person who has passed on. Let us love one another as Kenyans and be concerned about one another. Mr. Speaker, I would only pray that may the soul of Honorable Charles Ongonto Were rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa ruhusa niweze kuchangia na kuleta rambirambi zangu, familia yangu na watu wa Embu County kwa rafiki wangu MP Were wa kutoka huko upande wa Nyanza. Mambo ya ajabu ni kuwa hiyo mambo ilifanyika na pia haikufurahisha sisi tukiwa wajumbe wa seneti na wa parliament. Lakini ningesema familia yake na watu wa hiyo county yake waweze kukaa vizuri na kuomba diweze kuendelea vizuri, na pia wakati wa uchaguzi itakuja wataweza kuchagua mtu ambaye atakuwa anafanya kazi vile Were alikuwa anafanya kazi. Lakini mambo ya ajabu, sisi tukiwa wajumbe MPs na senators tukiangalia vizuri wakati hiyo gari ilitoka katika hapa parliament na vile ilikuwa inatembea na vile walikuwa nafuatwa na pali walienda wakakuta jamu, gari ikasimama kidogo. Ni mambo ya kuhuzunisha sasa sana kama ienda ikawa gari ilikuwa inaenda polepole na picha kama inasema ukweli. Tunaona vile ule mtu alitoka kwa mbodana akaenda akaweza kuwa ile mheshimiwa. Mambo ya ajabu, ile gari ilikuwa na driver na pia ilikuwa na askari. Ni sisi tujiulize, kama uko na askari na driver, kama kitendo kama hiyo inafanyika na mwananchi wa nje anakuwa anafanya namna gani? Kwa hiyo ni sisi tujiangalie tuweze kuona iende ikawa tuko na makosa na driver ama ni askari ama ifanywe namna gani, kwa sababu ni kitu kia kusunusa. Kwa sababu hakuna kitu inaonyesha kutoka wakati ile gari ilikuwa imefanyika pale tungekuwa kama mlinzi wetu kama askari vile angetoka ile gari na wese ashuti ule mwizi ama wale watu. Hakuna kitu imeonyeshwa. Kwa hiyo ni kitu ya kusunisha sana. Ni sisi tujiangalie na tukae vizuri na wale watu wanafanya kazi na ama upande wa ulinzi yose kuangaliwa, kwa sababu tunaona hata kule upande wa Migori vile mtu wa rais akiwa anahutubia wananchi, mtu mwenyewe kutoa kiatu na kurushia na mpaka saa hii hatujaweza kuona ilifanyika namna gani. Kwa hiyo pande wa security mpaka tuambiwe ni nani aliruhusa hata kiatu ambaye ile ilikuwa inaruhusiwa rais wa Kenya ambaye ni msapakazi. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, mimi napeana rambirambi zangu na watu wa Embu, na pia nikumbuka Were alikuwa rafiki wangu. Kwa sababu kila mara tulikuwa tunakutana na yeye alikuwa ananiita semenji, kwa sababu alikuwa ananiambia bibi yake moja ameweko Meru. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, ningesema mpaka tuweze kuangalia mambo na njia ile inafaa ndio kitendo kama hiyo isiweze kufanyika. Kwa hivyo mimi napeana rambirambi zangu nikiwa Central Embu County. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the people of Tana River, on behalf of my family, I want to extend my condolences to the people of Kasipul Kabondo and to the family of Mheshimiwa Sir Charles Were. Mr. Speaker, from Tana River, we say those who proceed before us, we learn from them. And Mr. Speaker, what Sir Charles brought to my life in the little interactions we had is that he was a very disciplined person, even at his age, and a very serious man at the gym club. He always used to come there and maintained that discipline. So we can take that from him, always very silent, well-spoken, related very well with all the colleagues who regularly attend there. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Modama.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuleta rambirambi zangu mwenyewe na watu wa Machakos kwa watu wa Homa Bay kwa kumpoteza mtoto wao Mheshimiwa Charles Were. Bwana Spika, hii ni jambo inahuzunisha watu wote kwa maana ya jinsi ilivyotokea. Mtu awe kazini siku mzima alafu akielekea zake nyumbani anapoteza maisha yake hivyo hivyo tu kiholela. Na Bwana Spika, nataka kusema ya kwamba ni Kenya mzima imepoteza, ni kwa maana wakati alikuwa akitetea watu wa sub-county yake hakuwa anatetea hawa tu peke yao, bali alikuwa anatetea watu wa Kenya. Na kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, kuna maana ya Wakenya kulia kwa jumla. Nataka kusema kama vile Mheshimiwa Beth Siengo Senator amesema ya kwamba hata mwizi akifa ana wazazi, ana watoto na ana watu wake ambao wanamlilia na wana majonzi kwa maana wao hawakujua uovu wake. Na kwa hivyo tungeshikana wote pamoja, tulie pamoja, na kama kuna watu wana sababu nyingine zaidi ya hizo, Mheshimiwa Speaker, waweze kufuata mahakama ama njia zinazofaa na zinazostahili, lakini sikuweka mzigo mwingine mzito kwa familia inavyoendelea na kulia. Bwana Spika, kama taifa tuko na jukumu ya kuwajibika. Na Bwana Spika, hii ninataka kusema kwa maana nimeiona na imenihuzunisha. Wakati rais wa Kenya alipokuwa akiongea, kiatu ikarushwa mpaka ikagonga mkono wake. Bwana Spika, mimi ni wa opposition, lakini hata nikiwa wa opposition sina haki ya kuweza Bwana Spika kufurahia jambo kama ile. Maana ule ni kama kiongozi, ni kama mzazi. Kama mzazi mtoto wake akichukua kiatu amrushie, itakuwa vipi? Hata kama tunalia na kama tunaona mambo hayaendi kama vile inastahili kwenda, lakini kuna pahali hatufai kufika kama taifa. Kwa maana sisi ni taifa na tuko na majukumu ya kuwajibika. Bwana Spika, hiyo mimi ningeomba isiweze kutendeka tena. Napatia watu wa Homa Bay rambirambi zangu na za watu wa Machakos. Asante Bwana Spika.
Senator for Kericho, the Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I join the rest of my colleagues for and on behalf of the people of Kericho to pass our deepest sympathy to the family of Honorable Charles Ongondo Were, our departed colleague, a very amiable gentleman. I knew him very well. Mr. Speaker, I used to refer him as our son-in-law, as his wife comes from neighboring county of Bomet. I thought Senator Segei would actually have mentioned this. I was with him just a few days ago, Mr. Speaker, before his demise. There's a request that he had made to the head of state and had been referred to me to help him actually handle that particular request. And so he came to my office and we shared a cup of tea. Little did I know that that was the last time which we were going to meet with Sir Charles, as we fondly called him. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I do pass my word of pole to his constituents, all his friends and loved ones, Mr. Speaker, and pray for a speedy resolution of the investigations that are being conducted into the heinous act that led to his untimely demise, Mr. Speaker. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, many members have spoken on this issue of the security situation for us as members of parliament and members of the public in general. Mr. Speaker, members should not be embarrassed to speak on the need to get better protection. Mr. Speaker, the job that we do today is not a very easy job. By virtue of how we vote, the things that we do, Mr. Speaker, we are by and large exposed to people who may not like you for reasons that are beyond even your own doing, Mr. Speaker. There are people who dislike even by the very fact that you're just a politician. And it's been normalized, Mr. Speaker, hate of leaders. It begins with social media, which unfortunately many people cheer on and imagine that it's just normal to demonize all public figures and say nasty things about them, celebrate their death, Mr. Speaker. It gets funny on social media until it gets to the level as it reached, Mr. Speaker, with the Honorable Charles Ongondo Were. Nobody should normalize hate, Mr. Speaker. Kenya is a constitutional democracy. If you do not like the way a certain public official, Mr. Speaker, conducts their affairs, there is a constitutional and legal way, Mr. Speaker, through which you can step up to the platform and offer better leadership than what that particular individual does. But this business, Mr. Speaker, where it has become the norm and the order of the day to cast members of parliament and various leaders, Mr. Speaker, as if they are second to the devil, Mr. Speaker, and this is being celebrated by other people, and unfortunately including even colleague leaders sometimes, Mr. Speaker, it's something that should be of concern to anybody that is right thinking and cares for the future of this country. Mr. Speaker, we must build a society that is tolerant of each other. We shall never agree on everything. We shall never view the world with the same pair of lenses, Mr. Speaker. What we must learn, Mr. Speaker.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 3, messages.
Now, honorable members, before I pass the message from the National Assembly, allow me to make this communication. I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from AIC Nunguni Secondary School in Makueni County. The delegation comprises 3 teachers and 48 students who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. Now, honorable senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcome visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senator for Makueni, and 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for welcoming students from Makueni, Nunguni, to the Senate. Mr. Speaker, the students are here to learn, and I believe that they'll have an opportunity to get to know how Parliament operates and how it works. And Mr. Speaker, that they'll be inspired enough so that in future they could also take leadership as they have seen here in the Senate. And also, I believe when schools visit the Senate, they see the physical thing. They can see the maze, they can see the Speaker. And in every examination, there is always questions about Parliament. And I'm sure when they go back, they will perform better in their examinations, and that they will feel encouraged and inspired and be hopeful and do better for their lives. I really want to send them back home to Makueni, Nunguni, Kilungu, which is in Kaiti constituency, with greetings, and I hope that they have learned and will remember this day all their lives. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kavindu, just take your seat. Senator Karen Nyamu. Now, honorable senators, take your seat, Senator Karen. I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 47-1, I have received the following message from His Excellency the President regarding the referral of the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023. The message, which came as a presidential memorandum dated the 30th of April 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Wednesday, 30th of April 2025. Pursuant to the said standing order, I now report the message. Whereas a bill titled An Act of Parliament to Provide for the Management and Regulation of Conflict of Interest and for Connected Purposes was passed by the National Assembly on the 5th of December 2024 and by the Senate on the 8th of April 2025, and whereas in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023 was presented to me for assent on the 17th of April 2025. Now, therefore, in exercise of the powers conferred upon me by Article 115 of the Constitution, I decline to assent to the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023 and refer the bill for reconsideration by both Houses of Parliament for the reasons set out hereunder. Now, honorable senators, in the memorandum, His Excellency the President has noted his reservations and set out the proposed parts for reconsideration by the Senate. Honorable senators, Article 115.2 provide for the procedure for the disposal of reservations by the President on a bill and states as follows. If the President refers a bill back for reconsideration, Parliament may, following the appropriate procedures under this part, amend the bill in light of the President's reservations or pass the bill a second time without amendment. If Parliament amends the bill fully, accommodating the President's reservations, the appropriate Speaker shall resubmit the bill to the President for assent pursuant to Article 115.3. Further, Article 115.4 provides that Parliament, after considering the President's reservations, may pass the bill a second time without amendment or with amendments that do not fully accommodate the President's reservations by a vote supported by 2/3 of the delegations in the Senate if it is a bill that requires the approval of the Senate. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 170, I refer the said memorandum to the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights for consideration. The committee is required to, within 14 days, lay on the table of the Senate its report on the memorandum. I direct the committee tables its report on or before Tuesday, the 20th of May, 2025, for consideration by the Senate. I thank you. I've got another message. Honorable Gloria, you're out of order, and I give you the first caution for the day. Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3 and 5, I have received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the passage by the National Assembly of the County Government's Additional Locations Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2025. The message, dated Thursday, 24th of April 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on the same date while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently circulated to all senators via letter dated the 25th of April 2025. Pursuant to Standing Order 46.5, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 and 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas the County Government's Additional Locations Bill, Senate Bills number 1 of 2025, was passed by the Senate on Thursday, 1st of April 2025, and referred to the National Assembly for consideration pursuant to the provisions of Article 110.4 of the Constitution, and whereas the National Assembly considered the said bill and passed it without amendments on Thursday, 24th of April 2024 in the form passed by the Senate. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 110 of the Constitution and Standing Orders 41.1 and 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate. I am in the process of transmitting the bill to His Excellency the President for assent. I thank you. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I have concern with regards to your first communication on the referral back to Parliament by the President of the Conflict of Interest Bill. Mr. Speaker, this is the second time in the history of the Senate that we are having a bill referred. And to the best of my reconciliation, the first one was very contested, especially on procedure and how it was handled. I appreciate, Mr. Speaker, that we have since further amended our standing orders and provides a properly laid out procedure of how the House treats this matter, both in the affirmative and in the opposite, in case the House doesn't consider or agree to the recommendations of a President. The thing that I want to request you, Mr. Speaker, is that this bill, or rather this process, has statutory timelines, without which the matter actually will be considered to have been considered by the House either way. I know in your communication you have guided and given even the exact date by which this committee needs to recommend back to the House the bill so that we take a decision either in agreement with them or against. I want to appeal, Mr. Speaker, that this be taken into great consideration by members of the Justice and Legal Affairs, because sadly, Mr. Speaker, we had a situation towards the end of the session, I think in handling a similar matter. It was with regards to a mediated version of a bill also between the two houses that was brought to the House past the timeline, and the Senate ended up passing it in the negative way without having to take a vote. Therefore, I want to request, Mr. Speaker, that members of Justice and Legal Affairs, fully aware of this provision, Mr. Speaker, guide the House into making a decision whichever way, whether in agreement or disagreement with the memorandum, within the provided timelines. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, it will be a very bad reflection of us as a House if it will reflect later on in history that on such a momentous occasion where a bill has been referred back to us for the second time only in as many years as you can recall of this House, Mr. Speaker, we were knocked out by a technicality. I just felt that it would be important because I don't know if I can see the Chair of Justice and Legal Affairs is in the House together with the membership, that it is important that that emphasis be laid. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, indeed, Majority Leader, this is a very weighty matter, and it must be considered within some statutory timelines. And that's why, in my communication, I even indicated the dates when we are supposed to receive the report from AJAABU. The Chair is in the House. AJAABU, Chair, would you want to say a word?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, we earlier on in the morning when we were having a meeting at the SBC, remember I indicated to the committee that we had set aside 2 dates, actually Tuesday next week and Thursday, in anticipation of additional business that could be committed to the committee. And because we got notice to the effect that that communication was coming, we will purpose to prioritize processing of this particular bill in that particular day and the subsequent week. And I want to commit to you and honorable members of the House that is a committee, we will work within the timelines that the honorable chairperson, Speaker, you have given to us. I equally have taken note of the comments by the majority leader, because having the bill sent back with those comments means that we definitely have got to consider. I want to urge members, those who would be having interest in submitting any information as regards the content of the bill and the reports that we previously presented before the House. We tabled, remember, Mr. Speaker, when we handled this bill in the first instance, we have a report that the committee tabled. I want to urge honorable members to take an interest in that report so that their contribution can feed into this second consideration that has now been brought to the committee. But by and large, I undertake that we are going to work within the timelines that you have directed to submit before the House as within the appropriate timelines a report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order. Yes, Majority Leader.
Please indulge me, Mr. Speaker. This is an even more weightier issue. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that there is a Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill that is currently undergoing public participation by our colleagues in the National Assembly. I'd wish to know, Mr. Speaker, whether you jointly resolved this issue of public participation and the nature of the bill, how it is to be treated, with your counterpart, the Speaker of the National Assembly, given the fact, Mr. Speaker, that as it is today, the way the bill is fashioned, it includes provisions that actually affect our operations as the Senate. Yet the Senate is not involved, Mr. Speaker, in the public participation exercise. If you have followed the debates across the country, while there's a very good presentation by the staff and the technical team from the National Assembly on the roles and the importance of CDF, for example, Mr. Speaker, nothing is being said about Senate Oversight Fund. I have seen, Mr. Speaker, with a lot of trouble, members of the public struggle to understand what is the purpose of this Senate Oversight Fund. And there is nobody from the Senate, Mr. Speaker, that has accompanied them on this exercise to sensitize the public. Therefore, we look as if, Mr. Speaker, we are being bribed as senators, Mr. Speaker, just to accommodate CDF. I feel slighted, Mr. Speaker. I feel bad, Mr. Speaker, because as a senator, I have survived over 10 years without Senate Oversight Fund, Mr. Speaker. It's not even a big issue to some of us, Mr. Speaker, but because as an institution, we made a decision that we will operate better and fulfill our mandate, constitutional mandate better, Mr. Speaker, in the presence of this fund. That shouldn't it concern you, Mr. Speaker? The way your house is being projected in these public gatherings, Mr. Speaker, given that the members of staff from National Assembly who do the presentation of issues before members of the public eventually give their views on this issue are only doing a presentation of CDF and its benefits, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to request that you either grant a ruling or a communication to this House on how this matter is going to be treated, because we do not want to enter into a contest with our sister House, Mr. Speaker, where when the time comes for this House, Mr. Speaker, to also do public participation, we could give the other view of how CDF should be run, Mr. Speaker, without any involvement of members of the National Assembly or otherwise, Mr. Speaker, but I don't think that is the route that we need to go. But you need to guide this House, Mr. Speaker, whether this is a matter that you discussed with your colleague and how this House can be represented in the days, because I know they are still going to do this, I think, for the next 2 weeks before a report is returned to this House, Mr. Speaker. I beg for your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, because I know this projects the image of this House and it goes, Mr. Speaker, to cast very bad light many of the senators that come from those counties where public participation is being done, and members of the public imagine that we are just looking for a kickback so that we can pass the CDF amendment. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Senate Majority Leader, whatever is happening in the National Assembly, the Senate has not been involved in it. When the time comes that the Senate is involved, we shall be able to respond appropriately. But at this juncture, maybe my advice to you, Majority Leader, you need to get hold of your counterpart. You know, as speakers, we don't move any motions or bills. It must have been moved by your counterpart in the National Assembly. Kindly get hold of your counterpart to understand exactly what is happening in the National Assembly. But as far as I'm concerned, the Senate has not been involved. We have not received any communication concerning the process that is taking place across the country, and therefore I'm afraid I may not be able to comment on it now. But you have a better avenue as the Senate Majority Leader to get hold of your counterpart in the National Assembly to understand. Only then you can bring a substantive business before the Senate for me to make a ruling. Yeah.
Speaker, you know this is not a very simple matter, because it's not just a normal bill. It's the first time Parliament is trying to amend the Constitution. Therefore, we expected that at least there would be guidance from the office of the Speaker, because there are even further technical issues that will arise. Forget about Senate Oversight Fund. The ability to amend, Mr. Speaker. I thought that when we did the NADCO report, and it was passed here, I saw even our JLAC, the report that they brought before this House, they said that you jointly must set the rules of how a constitutional amendment is to be done, because what happens in the other House affects what we will eventually be able to do in this particular House, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I think, while I take your advice and I will do what you have guided me to do, I want to humbly request, Mr. Speaker, that you equally engage your counterpart so that more issues beyond the content of the bill are resolved, particularly on the issue of procedure, Mr. Speaker, because that is something that will affect how we handle constitutional amendment bills even in the future, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate. Today, Tuesday, the 6th of May, 2025. This is the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Annual Report for the financial year 2023-2024. And 2, Report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Narok County Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th June 2024. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate, 6th May 2025, a report of the joint sitting of the National Assembly, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, and Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the approval hearing of the nominee for appointment to the Board of Central Bank. I beg to lay.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the 4th basis of allocating the share of national revenue among the counties laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 17th of April 2025, and that pursuant to Article 2171 of the Constitution, approves the 4th basis for allocating the share of national revenue among the counties for the financial year 2025-2026 to 2029-2030 as follows. County allocation being equal to into bracket baseline allocation ratio time is 387.425 billion, close the bracket, plus 0.45 population index, plus 0.35 equal share, plus 0.12 poverty index, plus 0.05
0.08 geographical size of additional county allocation share above the baseline, where the baseline is 387.425 being equitable share for the financial year 2024-2025. Baseline allocation ratio is equal to the allocation factor derived from each county's allocation for the financial year 2024-2025. And the population index is based on 2019 Kenya Population and Housing Census. And the poverty index is based on 2022 Kenya Poverty Report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Geographical size is limited, capped at 10%. Thank you.
You had 2 notices, so you may proceed to... Who is giving notice? Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a report of the joint sitting of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Senate's Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the approval of hearing of the nominees for appointment to the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. The co-chairperson, Joint Parliamentary Committee on the vetting of nominees for appointment as members of the Board of Central Bank. Mr. Speaker, sir,
Order,
I beg to give notice
senators.
of the following motion.
Proceed. Just proceed, Senator Boni.
That the Senate adopts the joint report of the Departmental Committee on the Finance and National Planning of the National Assembly and the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget of the Senate on the approval hearing of the nominees for appointment to the Board of Central Bank of Kenya that was laid on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 6th May 2025, and that pursuant to Section 11.2 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act and Section 8.2 of the Public Appointments for Parliamentary Approval Act, the Senate approves the appointment of the following nominees as members of the Board of the Central Bank of Kenya. 1. FCPA Sophie Maturi, CPA Abdullahi Muhammad Abdi, MS Beatrice Kosgei, and Mr. David Simpson Osar Owor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Energy. Majority Leader, where's your chairperson on energy?
Mr. Speaker, you know the chairperson of Energy Committee has had a very youthful and energetic weekend where he has performed exceptionally well. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I can do other duties for him because he's holding fort elsewhere very responsibly as expected, Mr. Speaker, unlike somebody else that is in front of me, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee.
What is the point of order, Senator Boni?
Mr. Speaker, I rise on Standing Order number 105. Did you hear the leader of the majority tell the House that the Senator of Siaya has had an extremely, not using his own exact words, but ending up and suggesting, Mr. Speaker, that he has had a very good time. Mr. Speaker, the public is following. Can he specify what he means? Otherwise, he could impute improper motive on the distinguished Senator of Siaya.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I was speaking of the oversight responsibilities of Senator Oburu. You saw him take on governors.
That is enough.
Mr.
Now
Speaker.
you may proceed to give notice.
You don't want me to explain further, Mr. Speaker? Okay. I beg to give notice of the following motion, which is that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Energy on the country oversight and networking engagements in Wajir County, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, the 17th of April, 2025.
The Chairperson Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. Majority Leader, you may also proceed to give notice on that particular.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the progress report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on the operational and leadership crisis affecting the County Assembly of Nyamira, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, the 17th April 2025.
Now, Honorable Senators, for the convenience of the House, allow me to rearrange today's order paper. We will proceed to handle order number 12 and 13. Thereafter, we will resume the normal flow of today's business. Clerk, just proceed and call those two orders.
Order number 12, the County Statistics Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2024, second reading.
Yes, Senator Ali Roba.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 159-1 of the Senate to withdraw the County Statistics Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2024, which is appearing in today's order paper as order number 12. The reason for the withdrawal is to allow for further consultation with stakeholders with a view to develop comprehensive framework that addresses concerns at both the national and county government level. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 13, motion, report of the joint sitting of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and the National Planning and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the approval hearing of the nominees for appointment to the Board of Central Bank of Kenya.
The Chairperson Standing Committee on Finance and Budget. Okay, but then where is he? Okay, then he should be. So, as okay, Senator Boni, you may proceed.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to move that the Senate adopts the joint report of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning of the National Assembly and the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget of the Senate on the approval hearing of the nominees for appointment to the Board of Central Bank of Kenya that was laid on the table today, Tuesday, 6th May, and that pursuant to Section 11.2 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, Section 8.2 of the Public Appointments for Parliamentary Approval Act, the Senate approves the appointment of the following nominees as members of the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. 1, FCPA Sophie Moturi, CPA Abdullahi Mohamed Abdi, MS Beatrice Koskei, and Mr. David Simpson Osawa War. Mr. Speaker, the Board of, just to remind members, the Board of Directors of the Central Bank of Kenya is established under Section 10 of the Central Bank Act, Cap 491. The board is responsible for determining the policy of the bank, but this excludes the formulation of monetary policy, setting the bank's objectives and overseeing its financial management and strategic direction, continuously reviewing the bank's performance in carrying out its functions, and consistently monitoring the governor's performance in fulfilling the responsibilities of the office and ensuring that the bank achieves its objectives, assessing whether policy statements issued under Section 4B align with the bank's primary functions and objectives under Section 4, and maintaining constant oversight over the use of the bank's resources. Mr. Speaker, when we did the above exercise, we found that all the 4 nominees demonstrated integrity and professionalism. They possess extensive experience relevant to monetary policy, banking, finance, and regulatory matters, as they fulfilled all the legal and constitutional requirements for appointment. Briefly, Mr. Speaker, we found that FCPA Sophie Muturi is a seasoned finance and governance expert with over 38 years of diverse experience spanning a public service accounting, non-governmental organizations, corporate boards, and international development work. Secondly, CPA Abdullahi Muhammad Abdi is a finance and governance practitioner with 22 years of experience, especially in the non-government organization sector and financial management. He has served in different capacities in diverse operational and leadership roles that include serving as an accountant and finance administrator and a manager at the Womankind Kenya, a senior relationship manager at Yes Bank, amongst others. Mr. Speaker, we also found that Beatrice Koskei is a legal expert with over 34 years of progressive experience in public service and corporate governance. She is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and holds a Master's of Law degree specializing in commercial and cooperative law. Finally, Mr. Speaker, we found that Mr. David Simpson Osawa Owor is an IT and fintech professional with over 15 years of experience in digital and technology across the continent of Africa. Mr. Speaker, with this, I want to end by requesting the House to agree with the finding of the committee, which recommends that the Senate approves the nomination of FCPA Sophie Muturi, CPA Abdullahi Muhammad Abdi, MS Beatrice Koskei, and Mr. David Simpson Osawa for appointment as members of the board of the Central Bank of Kenya. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I wish to request the senators to approve the report of the Joint Committee on the approval hearing of the said persons and move and request the, let me see the members who are around, yes, and request, Mr. Speaker, the distinguished specially elected Senator Esther Okenyori, who is in a tete-a-tete, to second this motion.
Senator Esther Okenyori.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I wish to second.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the joint report of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning of the National Assembly and the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget of the Senate on the approval hearing of the nominees for appointment to the board of the Central Bank of Kenya, then on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 6 May 2025, and that pursuant to Section 11(2) of the Central Bank of Kenya Act and Section 82 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, the Senate approves the appointment of the following nominees as members of the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. 1. FCPA Sophie Moturi. 2. CPA Abdullahi Mohamed Abdi. 3. Ms. Beatrice Kosigei. And 4. Mr. David Simpson Osawa Owol. We have on my screen, there are several senators interested to maybe contribute, and I open now this session for contributions to this motion. I will start with the Senator Gloria, okay. Senator Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the board of the Central Bank of Kenya and the nominees to the board play a very important role in this country, and in contributing, in seconding the nominations of the board members. It is important to note, Mr. Speaker, that the board of the bank, chaired by Senior Advocate Andrew Musangi, is a board that makes determination on key issues, Mr. Speaker, that affect this country. And therefore it is important, Mr. Speaker, that this afternoon Senate has indeed made the approval, and the threshold of integrity and of stature that was considered by the committee, Mr. Speaker, is important in all these approvals. Mr. Speaker, I think that the Senate committee that sat to hear the members and to consider all memoranda has done a good job, and this is how committees should work. That when there are Kenyans who apply to positions of influence and of a national nature, such as that of the board of the Central Bank, Mr. Speaker, we ensure that individuals that are nominated to these positions are individuals with stature, and not individuals that will bend the rules in making approvals as required by the mandate of the institution. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senior Counsel. Next is Senator Chelgei Samson.
Mr. Speaker, just since this is a procedural motion, I want to congratulate the Committee of Finance and Budget and Senator Boni Khalwale, who was
Senator Chelgei, this is not a procedural motion.
It looks like
a very weighty matter, appointing members to the board of the Central Bank of Kenya.
Okay.
It's not a weighty matter. It is not a procedural motion, but a very weighty matter. Appointing members of the board to oversee how our economy is performing and how also the performance of the Central Bank of Kenya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that guidance. I said it looks like because, Mr. Speaker, as you can see the mood of the House, many people felt that we dispense of, I think, for the following reasons, Mr. Speaker. One, I want to thank Senator Boni Khalwale for moving this ably motion, and for the well done. And the Committee of Finance and Budget, my brother, the principal and party leader of UDM, and the Senator of Mandera, Mr. Speaker, for the good job done, the members of Finance and Budget. And I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, this is one of the committees that has continued to define the role of the Senate, especially apart from, of course, yours truly, the Committee of County Public Accounts Committee. One of the critical committees is Finance and Budget. I know they are busy with fourth basis generation, and I am aware also the Committee on Devolution and Health, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, secondly, I am happy and thank Senator Boni Khalwale for the good job that he has ably moved on behalf of the committee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, going through the names, Mr. Speaker, and I'm surprised that I want to advise Senator Boni Khalwale in future, Mr. Speaker, that when you take a position, you don't retreat. unless there is something special. Because over the weekend, Mr. Speaker, I endorsed his position on my ex-handle. And I'm surprised that today he has retreated from the position he had over the weekend, Mr. Speaker, when he was in some funeral in Kakamega County. I hope in future he must stick to that position, Mr. Speaker, so that he can. He had insisted that the Ministry of Interior is incompetent and he must resign. But today, after tete with a cup of tea and mandazi in the office, he has retreated, Mr. Speaker. But that is the beyond. Mr. Speaker, that was on a lighter touch.
There is a point of order from Senator Mboni Karwale. What is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I rise understanding order number 105, and without wasting too much time, let it be on record that
is your point of order. You don't,
that the honourable member is misleading the House. It is on record, Mr. Speaker, that I was the first parliamentarian to call for the sacking of President Ruto's ministers, and I started with Moses Kuria. I went on to Linturi, and now I've arrived to Murkomen. I have not withdrawn, but Murkomen had the courtesy of calling me, Mr.
So
Speaker.
what is the point of order? You know,
that is misleading the House, Mr. Speaker, 105. Let the record be clear.
I'm not giving you time just to give you a statement
yes,
which
Mr.
are
Speaker.
not on the point of order that you are raising against the...
Yes, it's misleading the House. If I don't set it straight, petty things that touch on integrity, like taking mandasi, I have never stepped in an office of any minister of this government since I came to this House.
What is your point of order, Senator Mboni?
He is misleading the House, Mr. Speaker. Can he withdraw
yes, that's
and apologize for misleading the country that Khalwale can be compromised? No, that is my brand.
Senator Chalgei,
Mr.
you have
Speaker,
heard what your colleague has
I have heard.
Insinuated.
Mr. Speaker, but you know, Kakamega is my neighboring county, and
So
I know
can you
they
really
love tea.
substantiate that what the Senator Boni has arranged you have seen?
No, Mr. Speaker, on the part of chai and mandazi, I can withdraw that part. Because from his speech, even in point of order standing on the 105, he has insisted that he has never retreated on what he said in Kakamega, that the minister must resign or he should be fired. So I agree with that part. But you know, also it brings me conflict of interest because they are my neighbors and I know they love tea. But anyway, that's a conversation we can have in future. Mr. Speaker, I want to, under Article 10 of the Constitution, I'm happy the names, and he will become the governor of Kakamega. Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with the names. Looking at the names with the clans, with this obsession of tribalism and anything, I can see this is the face of Kenya. I want to thank the chairman, my brother, Captain, Mr. Speaker, for this, because you see Sophie Muturi, CP Abdulhai, Mohammed Abdi, Beatrice Kosgei, and David Simpson Osawa Owor. This is the face of Kenya. We want every board. Mr. Speaker, it is sad, and I wish the chair of cohesion was here, that there are some boards in this country that they can converse in their local dialect. They can do Zoom meetings in their local dialect, Mr. Speaker. This central bank CPK board, as per Section 10 of CPK Act of Article 491, Laws of Kenya, of what Senator Professor Tom Ojenda taught me in law school in Moi University, the Speaker is very critical. Under Article 10 on principles of values and national good governance, we must see the face of Kenya. And I'm happy for the first time. We must, Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge the Committee of National Cohesion and Integrity to give us the ethnic arithmetic and combination of the boards that we have in this country, the sagas that we have in this country. If you will see, Mr. Speaker, I will be shocked. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that finally the TSC CEO position has been finally advertised, Mr. Speaker. TSC was becoming the face of ineptitude, inefficiency, moribunds, Mr. Speaker, and the face of corruption, where politicians were dishing employment letters of TSC in funerals and in other forums, Mr. Speaker. It was embarrassing. Mr. Speaker, we must run boards professionally, within the law, with integrity. We don't want boards, Mr. Speaker, that run, and I hope as they recruit the new CEO of Teacher Service Commission, we should get somebody of integrity, and I'm happy the chairperson of education is seated in the House. Let us get the correct person, a person of integrity, We don't want like the current CEO who has been the face of inefficiency. Teachers now, Mr. Speaker, are suffering. In fact, the insurance, health insurance, they can't. Mr. Speaker, just like the police. And I'm happy there are teachers in this house, Mr. Speaker, like Senator Ogola. I think a number of people have been teachers, Mr. Speaker. That is why boards must be constituted in a proper, in integrity matter. Section 10 of CBK Act is very clear. Mr. Speaker, we have seen banks declaring devilish and unholy profits after every financial year without telling us how much are they paying to Kenya Revenue Authority. We have seen, Mr. Speaker, to take bank loans in this country. And members of parliament will tell you this, who are seated here. It is not a walk in the park. It goes even, I was speaking to a businessman the other day somewhere, Mr. Speaker, and he was telling me he took a bank loan at 14% of a certain bank, but they renegotiated it become expensive 21%. And that is why even in parliamentary circle, where I have the board director, most of members of parliament take our loans because it's more cheaper than commercial banks. What is happening? Because when you hear Equity Bank, you hear Standard Bank, you hear Barclays Bank, or it's called ABSA, they are declaring 20 billion, 80 billion, 100 billion pre-tax. Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge the board in the oversight role. They must tell us what business are banks doing when Kenyans cannot do business. What are they doing? Unless they are doing money laundering, Mr. Speaker. Even microfinance, like what to credit, Mr. Speaker. The regulator, which is CBK, must look at some of these people, what to credit. There are a number of who give loans, small loans, Mr. Speaker, to the motorbikes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate. Are you aware, I even call, there is one famous in our villages, there is one that they come and take your cow, your sofa sets, your TV. There is a microfinance that is run mostly by women. Even they take the roof, Mr. Speaker, under the supervision of the police. Where I come from, Mr. Speaker, families are breaking down because of the poor regulation mechanism by central bank. Mr. Speaker, marriages are breaking down. The strength of a society and a nation is a strong family. It is called Kenya Women. I think that's the title. They come and take everything. They take your clothes, they take your bed, the roof, the TV, the cows, everything, Mr. Speaker. And even the shoes. But I know when you go to Migori, Mr. Speaker, no one wants to wear the shoe after the incident that happened over the weekend. And I saw Senator Professor Tom Ojienda on the ground. He will tell me in camera what really happened, Mr. Speaker. So they take everything. We must be told, when what to credit, you have been told, Mr. Speaker, that a number of young men take loan to buy motorbike. But you end up paying that motorbike to even 350,000 4 times. Under what to credit. And when they realize, Mr. Speaker, you're almost finishing paying for that border. That motorbike, Mr. Speaker, they come, that border disappears mysteriously. Mr. Speaker, we must be told this board is challenged to do their work of oversight so that we don't give microfinance entities unlicensed and checkered a free hand to stifle and frustrate the small businesses in this country, Mr. Speaker. I know of a number even here in Nairobi, in Nandi. Most of the young men who are in border sector call me daily and ask me, Mheshimiwa, I had taken some money, I had taken a loan to buy a motorbike from Watu Credit. Before I finish my last installment, the motorbike disappeared. And when they report to police station, to our police, they collude, Mr. Speaker. No one is arrested. Same to Kenya Women, Mr. Speaker. Somebody comes and, you know, us, in our respect, we are equated to cows, Mr. Speaker. In my culture, you are equated. Somebody like Kenya Women comes and drives away a cow worth 120,000 Kenyan shillings, Mr. Speaker. In our local language, they say, it is equated, Mr. Speaker. It is equated to the respect, and somebody comes and take it over, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of oversight of the board. As you have said, they must reign on these microfinance entities. They must reign on these commercial banks. Mr. Speaker, it was sad, as I conclude, you saw the devolution committee. There are counties who run an unknown number of commercial bank accounts. Mr. Speaker, I saw, was it Bungoma, they had over 150 commercial bank accounts. Nandi has over 100. Why would the Bankers Association of Kenya, the CBK, Under the, Mr. Speaker, under the law, the one on Public Finance Management Act, Mr. Speaker, and the chair of CPIC is here. The counties are supposed to operate a minimal number, like special purpose account, that is allowed under the law for the World Bank. I'm just winding up, Senator Sifuna. Mrs. Can you protect me? I don't know why the SG of ODM is restless, and this is a very serious motion.
What is it, Senator?
He is throwing his hands around. I don't know what is the problem. Mr. Speaker.
Because there is you have more 10 minutes.
Yes. And we are paid to speak. That's Article
Any member
96.
contributing to this motion can get entitled to 20 minutes.
But the Speaker corrected. He corrected me. Mr. Speaker, in what I wanted to say in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, is on the issue of commercial bank accounts that is being allowed for counties to open. For example, and I'm happy the Devolution Committee, I don't know whether CPIC is also looking at that matter, Mr. Speaker. Why would somebody, what is the role of Central Bank Board, which oversight to allow Tana River to operate a number of commercial bank accounts without the supervision? 34. I'm told Tana River has 34. What about Kakamega? 200 Kakamega, Mr. Speaker. Why is the Central Bank of Kenya Board under Article Section 10 of the CPK Cap 491 laws of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, allowed? That is the work of oversight that is provided under Section 10 of Central Bank Act, Mr. Speaker. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, was in the issue of governance performance, which should tell us and brief the nation, Mr. Speaker. We have been told that the inflation rate is looking better. The economy, Mr. Speaker, the exchange rate, for the first time, Mr. Speaker, the dollar against the shilling has stabilized with 130 shillings. And we thank the President Ruto's government for this issue of financial management, Mr. Speaker, and also in terms of ensuring that the governor ensures that they have an option of performance, Mr. Speaker. So the work of Central Bank of Kenya Board is now cut out, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, we want to challenge David Simpson of Wasawa War, Madam Bridget Koskei, CP Abdullahi Mohammed, FCPA Sophie Muturi, to rise up to the occasion under the chairmanship of the board of the Central Bank of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. We want our banks to do business, but not to profiteer or exploit Kenyans who are doing business, especially the SMEs, Mr. Speaker. And that is why the success story of the Hustler Fund. We want to ask, even as the board sets in, to ensure the conditions of loan borrowing by the small businesses, by the startup businesses, that they should even encourage tax holidays for the small kiosk businesses in Kirinyaga Road here in Nairobi, for some small businesses in Namgo in Nandi, Mr. Speaker, for some businesses in Mombasa or Vihiga in Majengo, Mr. Speaker, so that that young man, that young woman who doesn't have collateral security like title deed, like logbook, can walk into a commercial bank, get fair conditions of loan, and be able to start up a business and build a serious empire in this country, Mr. Speaker. With those very many remarks, I support and commend the Committee of Finance and Budget for the job well done. Let the board settle in and ensure there is a transformative finance and management of the Central Bank of Kenya. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. We have one more member. Maybe you want to make some comments on this motion. Then after this, we can go back to the other business that was reorganized. Senator Mwinyaji Mohamed Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia taarifa ya kamati ya fedha kuhusiana na uteuzi wa wanachama wa bodi ya Banki Kuu ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwanza naipongeza kamati hii pamoja na kamati ya Bunge la Kitaifa kwa kuweza kumaliza zoezi hili la kuwapiga msasa wale wateule wanne wa nafasi hizo. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la kusikitisha ni kwamba japokuwa uteuzi wa wanachama hawa bodi ya ukurugenzi ni muhimu sana, jukumu la bunge ni dogo sana, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa sababu jukumu la bunge ni kupitisha yale majina ambayo yameletwa kutoka kwa waliofanywa uchunguzi na taasisi zingine, Mheshimiwa Spika. Hata kama bunge lilikuwa lina linasema kwamba mtu fulani hafai kwa ule wadhifa. Mheshimiwa Spika, katika ile zoezi ambalo lilifanyika tulikuwa hatuna uwezo wa kufanya hivyo. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ipo haja ya kufanya marekebisho ya sheria ili sisi pia tuwe na uwezo wa kukataa wale ambao wanaletwa katika zoezi lile la kupiga msasa, kwa sababu wengine hawafai katika hiyo nyadhifa. Lakini kwa vile mikono yetu imefungwa, hatuwezi kutoa mapendekezo yoyote kuhusiana na wale ambao wameteuliwa na wakafikishwa mbele ya bodi. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la pili ni kwamba bodi ya wakurugenzi wa Benki Kuu ya Kenya wana jukumu muhimu sana Mheshimiwa Spika, kuangalia vipi mfumo wa fedha utakavyoendeshwa katika nchi yetu. Kwa hivyo si bodi ambayo inaweza kubeba mtu yoyote ambaye anaweza kupatikana katika jiji la Nairobi ama katika kaunti zetu. Ni mtu ambaye ana tajiriba fulani na anawezekana kuweza kutoa mwongozo katika masuala ambayo yatazungumziwa katika Benki Kuu ya Taifa. Mheshimiwa Spika, katika uteuzi ule kijana wa mwisho ambaye jina lake siwezi kumkumbuka, lakini alinifurahisha sana katika mambo ambayo aliyazungumza na mambo ambayo ameweza kuyafanya kwa ule muda ambao ameweza kuhudumu katika nyadhifa tofauti katika nchi za kigeni pia Mheshimiwa Spika, ambapo ameweza kupendekeza mambo muhimu ya masuala ya fedha. Kwa mfano, kwa sasa tuko katika muhula ama tuko katika uhuru wa ile inaitwa cryptocurrency kwa Kiingereza, fedha ya crypto ambayo ndio inatumika katika ulimwengu kwa masuala mengine. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, masuala kama haya ni masuala muhimu sana ambayo lazima wakurugenzi wa Benki Kuu wawe na ufahamu na uwezo wa kuweza kuyapambanua na vile vile pia kutoa mwongozo kwa taifa kuhusiana na masuala haya. Kupeleka mtu tu pale kama kwa sababu anatafuta kazi, kama tunavyoona katika tume nyingine Mheshimiwa Spika. Tume nyingi sasa zimeweza kushindwa, zimeweza kulemaa. Kwa mfano tume ya Kenya National Human Rights Commission, ile ya equality, zote zimeweza kulemaa kwa sababu wale makamishna wale wengine ambao wamewekwa pale Mheshimiwa Spika hawajui kazi zao kisawa sawa. Kwa hivyo nimefurahi kwamba bodi hii tumepata huyu mwanachama wa bodi ya kitaifa, na tunatarajia kwamba wale wengine ambao watachaguliwa kwa siku za usoni watakuwa ni watu wenye tajriba ya kuwezesha kusaidia bodi hizi na kusaidia nchi kuweka misingi thabiti ya masuala ya fedha katika nchi yetu. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii.
Senator Mgatana Danson.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me the floor. Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the motion before the House that we approve the names of Sophie Muturi, Abdullahi Mohamed Abdi, Beatrice Kosgei, and David Simpson Osawa War to be appointed as members of the board of the Central Bank of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I'm very proud that today I'm actually participating in approval. Mr. Speaker, many years ago, when I was younger than today, it was after I resigned from government at that time that I moved this particular bill, Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, that saw that now we needed to approve important national positions through parliamentary approval system. I'm so happy that they have amended it, improved it, and now it includes members of the board of Central Bank of Kenya. To disclose my interest, Mr. Speaker, the chair of this board, Mr. Mukite Musangi, is a good friend and a person we went to school for 6 years, and a man of great integrity. So as I'm speaking here, Mr. Speaker, I know he's listening where he's seated. There are two issues. First of all, I believe the 4 people who have been nominated, they have very, very good CVs and I will not dwell on that. But, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to dwell on two issues of the Board of Central Bank and the work these four nominees are going to have to face as they take up their responsibilities. Mr. Speaker, the Board of Central Bank is supposed, number one, to oversight the Central Bank of Kenya management led by the Governor of the Central Bank. Mr. Speaker, may I say that Governor Thuge so far has performed well, and I am happy that he has stabilized the financial and the monetary situation in this country. However, I want to focus on the Board of Directors of CBK. Their first role is oversight, Mr. Speaker. And when you look at oversight of the management of Central Bank of Kenya, one of the things that comes to us as representatives of the people is the question, how fair in terms of distribution per county does the HR or human resource establishment in the Central Bank of Kenya, how well spread is this component of HR in the Central Bank of Kenya? Mr. Speaker, the question that this board and this new team must come to ask in those board meetings as they look at the management, they should ask how many people are working in the Central Bank of Kenya from Tana River County, for example, from other counties, Mr. Speaker. How well spread are people? The HR component of Central Bank, Mr. Speaker, has not been well spread across the country. And Mr. Speaker, this needs to be corrected, not yesterday, not tomorrow. It needs to be corrected immediately. Why I say so, Mr. Speaker, is that when the Central Bank of Kenya is sitting down to give various services to Kenya and to Kenyans, it is good for them to have different perspectives and different viewpoints of how their sittings and their decisions there affect Kenyans in general. So, Mr. Speaker, it is my prayer that the new team of Sophie Moturi, Abdullahi Mohammed, Beatrice Kosgei, and David Simpson Osawa, they would also take their time to make sure that in the next recruitment by the management of the Central Bank of Kenya, it is well spread across the country. We should not have, as a previous speaker said, other departments in this country where people can even converse in their mother tongue. People can speak without any problem because they are majority coming from a certain area. Mr. Speaker, the other issue is the second role is that this board of directors of Central Bank is supposed to review performance of the management of Central Bank led by the governor. Mr. Speaker, in terms of reviewing performance, there's a lot that we can say about the Central Bank of Kenya. What I have wanted to see, and I'm praying that this new team that is coming in will emphasize, is that the Act, the Central Bank Act, says that the governor of the Central Bank is the spokesperson of the Central Bank of Kenya. But, Mr. Speaker, a spokesperson speaks. A spokesperson talks to the public. Mr. Speaker, these people are employed to speak to Kenyans about what is happening in the economy, what they are doing to stabilize the shilling, what they are doing in terms of monetary policy, and so forth and so on. Mr. Speaker, it has been a historical position and a culture amongst the governors of the Central Bank of Kenya, and Mr. Thuge is the 10th governor of the Central Bank of Kenya. They never speak to the public, Mr. Speaker. The only time you would see Professor Ndugu when he was governor, Njoroge when he was governor, and now Thuge when he is governor, speaking to the public is when they are appearing before parliamentary committees. Mr. Speaker, I want this central bank board of directors who are coming in to come in with a new transparency thing. Get off with old traditions. Speak to Kenyans. Tell them why your reserves at the central bank are small, what you are doing about it, how you are going to help grow those reserves, how you are stabilizing the economy. Come out and speak to us. You are the governor of the central bank. You are not a politician. You are not a person who is there to please anyone. You speak independently. In fact, your office has constitutional independence. This thing of hiding behind those closed doors, Mr. Speaker, I pray that in terms of reviewing performance, the board of directors, especially these new ones who are coming in, will insist that the governor of the central bank, as the spokesperson of the central bank, must come out and speak to Kenyans. Tell Kenyans what needs to be done, how the banks are behaving, whether they are stable or not, how he has managed, because there was a time, Mr. Speaker, banks in Kenya were collapsing all over. It became a big story. How is it that they are managing to keep them stable? And are we having any risks? Are there banks that are not keeping the minimal reserves that have been indicated by central bank? And if this is so, Kenyans can walk with us, and the governor of central bank, Mr. Speaker, must come out to speak to us. He's a public servant. A public servant who is an independent public servant must come out all the time. So my prayer is that these 4 directors who are coming in, you will not go in there as board of directors and be swallowed by the traditions of former board members and just keep quiet. Push this management to be more transparent, to be more present in our rooms, in our houses, to speak to us and tell us how the economy is performing. Why I say this, Mr. Speaker, is because people hear what the government is saying on one side. People also hear what the minority side says. Now, some people will not know what is the correct position. So it is important an independent person that we know is protected by the Constitution can come and say, this is the position as far as management of the economy of Kenya is concerned. Mr. Speaker, still on the review of the performance, I'm asking the 4 who we are approving today because of your wonderful CVs, that you need to go and ask this question when you go in there. Why is it that we are having an acting director for internal audit and risk, Mr. Leonard Ouma? Why is it that we are having an acting director in charge of currency operations department, Mr. Evans Mutai? Why is it that we are having another acting director in charge of bank supervision, Mr. Matumugo? Why are these people acting? And there's a board there. Why can't you make decisions? Confirm somebody in management so that they can act with authority. The central bank should not be like some of our counties, where people are being given position to act. You're acting county secretary, acting this, acting that, and because you are acting and you have no proper authority, you are not able to perform as optimally as you should. Because you want to be confirmed to that position. And sometimes the people who are supposed to confirm you may not like what you are saying. So you are always careful. You are trying to balance. Let's not have that in the Central Bank of Kenya. So I know you are listening to me. When you get in there as a board of directors, or the Central Bank Board of Directors, please get inside there and ask these questions. Why are we having 3 senior positions on an acting capacity? Why can't you just confirm them? If you don't want them, then advertise and bring new people who can do the job with confidence and without fear of interruption. Mr. Speaker, as I finish my contribution, I would like to pay tribute to the directors who are leaving the board of Central Bank. I want to thank Nelias Kariuki, Revi Ruparel, Samson Cherutich, and Rachel Zombo. Mr. Speaker, they did a good job when they sat there in that position. Why I say so, Mr. Speaker, is because it was during their time that the management of Central Bank actually brought in a loan process that allowed for relief during the COVID time, Mr. Speaker, between 2020 and 2021. Mr. Speaker, we will not forget that they came through for us. So, Mr. Speaker, we want to thank them as they go into other positions, but we encourage the new directors to come in, and they should know that they have been given a position by the public, by the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, by the people of Kenya, on behalf of the people of Kenya. They must speak what is right. They must do what is right. They must remember their public servants when they enter there, and they must do fair for the entire country as they serve the Central Bank of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to support this motion for the appointment of these 4 very good, fine people to join the board of Central Bank of Kenya. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next is, according to my screen, there is no other member who is interested to contribute, so I'll call the mover to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And allow me to start really by thanking all the colleagues who have contributed to this report, and really thank my colleagues in our committee, Finance and Budget, for ensuring that we thoroughly scrutinized these nominees as per the standards that are required, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me start by really saying that the nominees that were presented before us came from different sectors in terms of professionalism and also in terms of experience, Mr. Speaker. We had one, Mr. Abdullahi, who holds a PhD in philosophy and has vast experience as far as issues of management are concerned, Mr. Speaker. The other nominee, Madam Sophie, Mr. Speaker, holds a master's degree in banking and financing and also a BCom in accounting speciality, which also blends in very well with the professionalism of Mr. Abdullahi. We had Madam Sophie, Madam Kosgei, Beatrice Kosgei, who's also an advocate of the High Court, Mr. Speaker, with over 30 years experience. So brings in the legal perspective in the board. We had one, David. I'll tell you, Mr. Speaker, when it came to David, of course, from where we sit as a committee, we raised concerns as far as credibility of academic papers were concerned. He was not able to present a copy at that particular moment. His names were mixed up, Mr. Speaker. The names in the paper, the final certificates, the name in the ID, Mr. Speaker, seemed to be a bit different for them back. But I want to thank the Secretariat because we tasked them to go to the bottom line and ask Kenyatta University to really approve if this gentleman had been in that institution and all that. And this was affirmed, Mr. Speaker. And I was concerned because David was the youngest in this team. And opportunities need to be given across both the women, men, youth. And as I said, this board represented all, represented women, represented men, represented the young, and David was among the young. Further to that, Mr. Speaker, David is an expert of ICT. And so, having an expert from the ICT department, we have the management, we have an advocate of the High Court, we have Sophie with the banking and finance experience, then these 4 board members were coming from different areas of expertise and were able to really showcase experience and dedication in terms of how they were going to ensure, when they sit on the board, they are going to ensure that what needed to be done as far as their role is concerned will be achieved, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've listened to my colleague, Senator Mungatana, and he has raised a very important thing that we also brought out when we were doing this vetting. This issue of having many directors, even many CEOs in different government institutions who are acting and who keep on acting for years and years, and we have boards that are supposed to undertake their role and be able to confirm them, or confirm the right person who should be confirmed. And this takes delay, and I want to support and urge that the different directors within the different institutions that he has talked about, the board now should be able to take up that role as their first key mandate and be able to confirm people who've been working for the longest, because you realize that they work for the longest and then after a short while, someone just comes from the blues with less experience, Mr. Speaker, not really understanding the nitty-gritty, some of the same issues that we've been addressing. And you know where we sit in committees, these are some of the stakeholders that we normally invite and engage. So they are best suited to be able to take up this role. So I urge the board, with the speed that it deserves, they should be able to ensure that these confirmations are done and done on time. Mr. Speaker, when I read the names of these 4 nominees, you realize there's regional balance. They come from the different parts of this country, which is also and was also a very big plus, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we were also able to interrogate them in terms of ensuring that they are able to oversight the CBK governor himself. Because, Mr. Speaker, I've earlier raised through a statement on the issue of the CBK bank rates that have been...
Senator Sifuna, do you have a point of order? Yes, just a minute, Senator Mutinda.
Honorable Speaker, on statement of fact, skimming through that report of the committee, it in fact states that 2 of those candidates were born in Uasin Gishu. Is it therefore factual for the replier to assert that these people come from different regions of the country? That's half the number come from Uasin Gishu. I think we should be factual, and it is in the report of the committee. I'm not making these things up.
Senator Mutinda.
Thank you so much. I like it when I notice that my senator for Nairobi is always very keen when I'm doing my submissions, and I want to say I appreciate, I actually take it as a compliment. I want to say that one, David Owor, as his name suggests, Mr. Speaker, you can tell which region he comes from. We had Kosgei, you can tell the region that he comes from. It is one thing to be born in Nairobi, it's another thing to come from Kitui County. So it doesn't mean that since I'm born in Nairobi, that I don't have a region that I came from. So if we look at the fact of birth, it's one thing. The same way you were born in Kakamega and probably you represent the great county of Nairobi. So as I proceed, Mr. Speaker, I was actually addressing the issue of the CBK bank rates, Mr. Speaker, and we realized that there's been delay in this, the governor for CBK ensuring that the rates that they have proposed are implemented in the different banks, because we find that it does not really apply. And this is the mandate of the governor for CBK himself. So these are the questions that we really were able to bring out to these nominees as far as ensuring that CBK implements or ensures implementation of the interest rates that they have proposed. Mr. Speaker, even when it comes to the expertise of the young man, David, on matters ICT, personally, I was able to really inquire on what he would offer so that we reduce or bring to 0% the issue of fraudulent withdrawals in the different banks, because we've seen that happening, and he was able to bring out quite different aspects on how the system can be managed. Those are not things I would want to put on record, but they really sounded very well that if CBK can be able to have that input, they can be able to pick in what this ICT expert was communicating, then moving forward, of course, these are cases that we look forward that they shall be totally reduced, Mr. Speaker. And to finalize, Mr. Speaker, we really emphasize that you realize policies are in place, but the implementation is a problem. An institution like CBK should ensure that there's adherence to the policies that have been set. We expect this board, Mr. Speaker, to be able to ensure that the issues that have been raised, both at the national level and even as Parliament, we've raised this issue, and most of these issues have been raised in the committee that I serve, Mr. Speaker. We hope that they are going to ensure that they're going to be, they're going to speed up on addressing these issues, and also keeping under constant review the performance of the banks. We've had banks that have closed down previously, Mr. Speaker. There are banks that have merged, Mr. Speaker. There are banks, Mr. Speaker, that their senior management are from different parts of this world, and they are not able to resonate with the local market in this country. It affects management, it affects the business of those companies, and you realize that the issues of loans, become a challenge, Mr. Speaker, depending on how this market is addressed. So with those and very few remarks, Mr. Speaker, as I said, I want to thank the Secretariat, board members from the National Assembly and the Finance Committee that we worked very closely with to be able to undertake this process. In those, I request, Mr. Speaker, that I beg to reply and request that the putting of the question be deferred to a later date pursuant to Standing Order 66-3. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, we have no quorum to put the question. So there was the organization of the order of business this afternoon. Therefore, before we proceed to any other business, we revert to order number 7 on questions and statements.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
The statements under order 53-1. We start with the Senator for Vihiga County, Senator Godfrey Ososi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of national concern regarding ceaseless existence of expired medication in public health facilities countrywide. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Auditor General has over the last 3 years, financial years, flagged out the matter of presence of huge amounts of expired drugs in most public health facilities in our counties. This is a matter that needs to be addressed urgently, since it poses a great risk to the lives of Kenyans seeking treatment in public health facilities, as one never knows when an unscrupulous staffer in these hospitals might actually give such medication to unsuspecting patients. Mr. Speaker, coupled with this is a trend by medical professionals in public hospitals to refer patients to privately owned pharmacies to buy medicines. Indeed, recently, the Mombasa County government announced that it would not renew the licenses of pharmacies and chemists operating near public hospitals to tackle the exploitation of patients and curb unfair profits by these businesses. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the total value of expired drugs in public health facilities from the financial years 2022-2023 to 2024-2025. 2, reasons why county health facilities continue to stock expired drugs, including whether there is a possible involvement of county staff and other private health facilities in pilferage of medicines supplied to public health facilities. 3, the gaps in the supply chain at the Kenya Medical Supplies Agency, KEMSA, that could be leading to the supply and delivery of expired drugs or drugs with a shorter lifespan. 4, possibilities of leveraging on technology in hospitals to monitor stock levels, expiry dates, and any other useful data. 5, and lastly, viability of a policy to regulate chemists and pharmacies operating around public health facilities in the counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next is Senator for Kisumu County, Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise under Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of national concern regarding the tragic death of 2 Form 4 students at Ramba Boys High School in Ariada, Siaya County. I'm not the senator for Siaya. The 2 students, Mr. Speaker, lost their lives after falling into a septic tank within the school premises that collapsed on 22nd March 2025. The students are said to have been together with others on top of the septic tank when it caved in, trapping them in while other students were seriously injured. This heartbreaking loss has sparked concern over the state of infrastructure in schools across the region and especially in rural areas. In light of this, Mr. Speaker, I convey my sincere condolences to bereaved families and demand the following. 1, that the Committee of Education addresses the circumstances leading to the deaths of the 2 students and the immediate action taken by the Ministry of Education in response to the tragedy. 2, a comprehensive audit of all sanitation infrastructural facilities in schools in the country to ensure they meet safety standards. Lastly, measures taken by the government to hold to account any officers found to have been negligent to prevent such fatal incidents in the future. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, next is the Senator for Nairobi City County, Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Energy on a matter of national concern regarding payments made by the Kenya Power and Lighting Company to independent power producers under take-or-pay contracts, specifically in relation to electricity that is ultimately lost due to high idle capacity. In the statement, the committee should address the following: Number one, the total amount paid by Kenya Power and Lighting Company to independent power producers over the last 2 financial years, including the volume of power purchased and the total cost incurred by the utility company. 2, the amount within these payments that relates to electricity paid for but not consumed, classified as idle capacity under the take-or-pay contracts. And thirdly, the mitigating measures in place to shield consumers from the cost of unused power and to prevent inefficiencies, mismanagement, or potential abuse of the take-or-pay framework. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Sifuna. Next is Senator Aaron Chesang, Senator for Trans Nzoia County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the revenue generation in Trans Nzoia County. The revenue generation in Trans Nzoia County government. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the details of the revenue streams available in the county, including the revenue collection plans in place, the number of revenue officers, and the amount of revenue generated, particularly from local hospitals and reimbursement schemes in Trans Nzoia County. Number 2, the current financial status of the Kitale County Hospital Social Scheme, Trans Nzoia County Health Operationalization Account, Health Revenue Account, and the Wamalwa Kijana Teaching and Referral Hospital account. And number 3, the reasons for the discontinuation of the previous revenue collection system, details of the terms of engagement of the regional business collection, a local revenue collection company operating an electronic revenue platform, and whether it was engaged in compliance with relevant procurement laws. Mr. Speaker, my second statement arises pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on the matter of county-wide concern regarding the relocation of health services and the deteriorating operational standards in county health facilities in Trans Nzoia County. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the decision to move health services from Kitale Level 5 Referral Hospital to Kijana Wamalwa Level 4 Hospital without public participation or county assembly approvals. Number 2, the rationale behind this move, given the availability of sufficient land for expansion at Kitale Level 5 and the reported lack of specialized personnel and services at Kijana Wamalwa Level 4 Hospital. And number 3, list of patients affected by the transfer, indicating any health complications or fatalities that may have occurred as a result of the relocation. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Senator Mwijaji Faki.
I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 53.1 of the Senate Standing Order to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on the county-wide matter regarding the deteriorating situation at the Likoni Ferry crossing in Mombasa County. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Likoni Ferry channel is a critical crossing point for both vehicular and pedestrian traffic, connecting Mombasa Island to the mainland south and serving residents of Mombasa and Kwale counties, and providing access to neighboring Tanzania through the Lunga border. It's of strategic importance to trade, tourism and daily commuting, which cannot be overstated. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, in the recent days, the ferry service has suffered severe delays, particularly during peak morning hours and evening hours, resulting in dangerous congestion and heightened risks to public safety. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the 29th of April, we commemorated, I think, 31 years since the 31 years since the tragedy of the Mtongwe Ferry in 1994. Private security guards tasked with managing the crossing have increasingly been overwhelmed by the crowds, raising grave concerns about disaster preparedness in the event of an emergency. Mr. Speaker, sir, the situation is further compounded by the continued use of aging ferries, many of which have no book value and whose insurance and mechanical fitness are questionable. Although the Kenya Ports Authority had proposed to procure new ferries, this initiative has yet to materialize. Additionally, the dismantling of the temporary footbridge commissioned during the COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated the congestion at the crossing. Given that ferries operate at the gateway to the port of Mombasa, any incident could have far-reaching consequences for regional trade and economic stability. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the statement, the committee should address the following: the reasons behind the deterioration in services at the Ikoni ferry crossing and the measures being taken by KPA management to restore efficient operations. Number two, the steps being implemented to enhance crowd control and ensure commuter and pedestrian safety during the peak hours. Number three, the disaster preparedness plans in place to mitigate risks in case of emergencies at the ferry crossing. Number four, the status of the proposal to acquire new ferries to replace the aging fleet and the timelines for implementation. And finally, the justification for dismantling of the footbridge crossing without a suitable alternative for pedestrian crossing, and whether there are plans to reintroduce the safe passage option for pedestrians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Senator Faki. We now go to statements pursuant to Standing Order 56(1)B. We start with the Chairperson, Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. Senator Wakoli.
Honorable Speaker, statement relating to the activities of the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries for the period February to April 2025. Pursuant to Standing Order 56(1)B of the Senate Standing Orders, Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56(1)B of the Senate Standing Orders to make a statement relating to the activities of the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries regarding during the first quarter of the fourth session, that is January to April 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Senate Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries is established under Standing Order 28(3) of the Senate Standing Orders and is mandated to consider all matters relating to agriculture, irrigation, livestock, fisheries, development, and veterinary services. During the period under review, the committee held a total of 15 sittings, during which it considered 4 bills, 10 statements, and 1 legislative proposal. In the reporting period, the committee held a consultative meeting with the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Water and Irrigation to deliberate on the proposed policies, programs, and expenditure ceilings of the respective state departments as contained in the 2025 budget policy statement. The committee further sought information on the status of the financial year 2024-2025 budget and the key policy underlying the expenditure ceilings in the 2025 budget policy statement. Further, the committee participated in the consultative meeting with the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, and all the sagas to consider the programs and projects undertaken by the ministry. Legislative proposals. Honorable Speaker, during the period under review, the committee overtook pre-publication scrutiny on the legislative proposal on the Seeds and Plant Varieties Amendment Bill 2025. The committee recommended it for publication in the Senate. Bills. Honorable Speaker, during the period under review, the committee considered the following 4 bills. A, the Nut and Crop Oil Bill 2023, Senate Bills number 47 of 2024. The committee facilitated public participation pursuant to provisions of Article 118 of the Constitution and Standing Order 145.5, and is currently considering stakeholder submissions. B, the Cotton Bill Industry Development Bill 2023, Senate Bills number 5 of 2023. The committee considered the Presidential Memorandum on the Cotton Industry Development Bill 2023. The committee observed that the Presidential Memorandum on the Cotton Industry Development Bill 2023 was not properly placed before the committee owing to the stipulated timelines. C, the Livestock Protection and Sustainability Bill 2024, Senate Bills number 32 of 2024. The committee facilitated public participation and committee received submissions from the Council of Governors and the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. The committee will conduct public participation in livestock rearing counties of Samburu, Kajiado, Garissa, and Taita Taveta, and therefore table its report. D, the Coffee Bill 2023, Senate Bills number 10 of 2023. The bill was proposed and passed in the Senate with amendments on 1st August 2024 and thereafter referred to the National Assembly, where it was passed with amendments on 26 November 2024. The committee considered and adopted the report for tabling in the Senate. Statements. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, 10 statements were sought from the committee, out of which 5 statements have been responded to as follows. A, statement on the impending dissolution of Pyrethrum Processing Company in Kenya sought by Senator Richard Onyonka, MP, letter forwarding response shared with the Senator. B, statement on the gazettement of domesticated water buffalo as a food animal sought by Senator Catherine Muma, MP, letter forwarding response shared with the Senator. C, statement on the status of purchase of wheat from Kenyan farmers sought by Senator Jackson Mandago, MP, letter forwarding response shared with the Senator. And D, statement on the ongoing livestock vaccination program in the country sought by Senator Mohammed Chute, MP, response shared with the Senator. Statement on the inequitable distribution of fertilizer by the National Cereals and Produce Board, sought by Senator John Methu, letter forwarded response with the Senator. Number 9, Mr. Speaker, sir, the following 5 statements from the year 2024 are yet to be responded to. Statement on the importation of fertilizer by the National Cereals and Produce Board, sought by Senator Mohammed Chute. Statement on the distribution of donated fertilizer by National Cereals and Produce Board, sought by Senator Mohammed Chute. Statement on fishing activities in Nakuru National Park led to the shooting of 4 young men at Barut and Mwariki area of Nakuru West, sought by Senator Tabitha Keroche, MP. Statement on the status of completion of Isiolo Export Abata, sought by Senator Fatuma Dulu. And finally, statement on the delayed payments of dairy farmers by the Kenya Cooperative Creameries, KCC, sought by Senator William Kisang, MP. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the next quarter of committee, we will undertake inspection visit to Turkana County on the irrigation scheme projects and also undertake inspection visits to NCPB depots across the country on the status of availability of seeds and fertilizer. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, Senator Wafula Wakoli, MP, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, dated 2nd May 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Wafula, the Chairperson of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries Standing Committee. I now invite the Chairperson, Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations, to make a statement relating to the activities of the committee for the period January to April 2025. Senator Professor Kamar, proceed to table your report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to make a statement on the activities of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations for the period January to April 2025, issued pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B. Mr. Speaker, sir, I raise pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B to make a statement on the activities of the Standing Committee of Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations for the stated period of January to April 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the reporting period, the committee has carried out various activities pertaining to its mandate. In summary, the committee has transacted the following legislative business. 1. The following 2 bills are before the committee, and the committee is at the final stages of considering and drafting its report. The first one is the Office of the County Attorney Amendment Bill 2024, Senate Bills number 47 of 2024, and the second one is the County Government Laws Amendment Bill 2024, Senate Bills number 52 of 2024. B, the committee received 7 statements that were sought from the committee during this period. The committee considered and concluded 4, leaving 3 statements pending before the committee currently. C, the committee jointly with the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights considered a petition on restraining county governments from hiring law firms for legal representation in court cases and tabled a joint report on the matter before the House on Thursday, 3rd April 2025. D, in inquiring on the performance of the counties on the implementation of county budgets, the committee has been holding consultative meetings with stakeholders to deliberate on key issues arising from the county budget implementation review reports for the financial year 2022-2023 and the financial year 2023-2024 by the Office of the Controller of Budget. The committee has so far met with governors from 8 counties and deliberated on the low expenditure on development in the counties contrary to Section 107(2)(b) of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A. E. The committee on its own volition is currently conducting an inquiry into the matter of the county governments operating several commercial bank accounts contrary to Regulation 82(1)(b) of the Public Finance Management as the County Government Regulation 2015. In consideration of the matter, the committee met with governors from 9 counties and deliberated on the matter. At the tail end of its consideration, the committee held a retreat with the Council of Governors, the Controller of Budget, and the Auditor General to deliberate on the key issues that are emerging from the inquiry on the many commercial accounts that they have in commercial banks. Following the extensive deliberations, the committee shall now table its conclusive report on the matter before this House. F. In assessing the state of devolution in the counties, the committee visited Turkana County to inspect the development projects being implemented by the county government of Turkana. During the visit, the committee noted that construction of some key projects had stalled, while others had taken too long to complete. Consequently, the committee resolved to convene a meeting with key stakeholders implementing some of these projects in order to address the challenges causing the delayed implementation of projects. Thereafter, the committee shall table a comprehensive report on this matter before this House. G. In adherence to its constitutional mandate, to safeguard the counties and in fostering an harmonious working relationship with the county governments, the committee is currently inquiring into the long-standing dispute in the County Assembly of Nyamira, which has caused a leadership and operational crisis in the Assembly. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee in future plans to do the following. 1, a retreat with the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, IGRTC, to deliberate on the issues emerging from the Gazette Notice number 219 by IGTRC dated 16th December 2024 on transfer of devolved functions. 2, conduct an inquiry into national government parastatals that are still performing devolved functions. And 3, conduct conduct visits to various counties to inspect the development projects being implemented by the county governments and assess the general state of devolution in the counties. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I wish to appreciate the Office of the Speaker, the Senate leadership, and the Office of the Clerk of the Senate for the steadfast support that they accorded us in the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Professor Kamar. And lastly, I call upon the chairperson of the Education Committee to make a statement relating to the activities of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. This is a statement relating to the activities of the Standing Committee on Education for the period between 1st January 2025 to 30th April 2025, pursuant to Standing Order 56.1b. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56.1b to make a statement on activities of the Standing Committee on Education for the period commencing 1st January 2025 to 31st March 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Standing Committee on Education is established under Standing Order 2283 of the State Standing Orders and is mandated to consider all matters related to education and training. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under consideration, the committee conducted the following business. A, committee meetings. The committee held 4 sittings. In one of the meetings, the committee considered the 2025 budget policy statement, education sector priorities, and recommended, among other things, a conditional grant to counties for the school feeding program in ECDE centers so as to improve enrollment of learners. B, bills. Mr. Speaker, sir, there were no bills referred to the committee during this period. C, legislative proposals. There were no legislative proposals referred to the committee during this period. D, petitions. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee moved a motion for adoption of the reports on the following 2 petitions concluded by the committee. A, petition concerning the discrimination by Teacher Service Commission on payment of hardship allowances and enhanced house allowance to some teachers in Kilifi County. And B, petition on discrimination of payment of hardship allowance to some teachers in Taita Taveta County. To address the concerns raised in the 2 petitions, the committee recommended, among other things, that the Ministry of Public Service Performance and Deliverance Management prepares and submits an appropriate policy and statutory instrument on identification and designation of hardship areas. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee is undertaking an inquiry on the status of implementation of early childhood development education, ECDE, and technical and county vocational education and training policies in the country. In conducting this inquiry, the committee invited governors of respective county governments to meetings to respond to issues sought by the committee, and thereafter undertook county visits to oversight the status of implementation of ECDE and vocational education and training. During the reporting period, the committee has so far met with the governors of Kajiado, Nyeri, Trans Nzoia, and Kitui counties, and undertook county visits to inspect ECD and vocational training centers in Machakos and Kajiado counties. From preliminary findings, the committee noted that county governments are implementing ECDE and vocational training policies in a coordinated manner. F. Statements. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, the committee processed 17 statements, sought under Standing Order 53-1 of the Senate Standing Orders. The committee is currently processing 45 statements and intends to conclude on these statements in the next quarter. The status of the pending statements at the time of reporting is attached to this statement, and I will table it to this House. G. Parliamentary diplomacy. The committee undertook a learning visit to the East Africa Legislative Assembly, EALA, and East and Southern Africa Management Institute, ISEMI, in Arusha, Tanzania, in January 2025. These visits were undertaken in an effort to enhance regional integration of the East African community. H. Resolutions. The committee is currently considering a resolution of the Senate on the State of the Nation address, where the committee was tasked to liaise with the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders with a view to resolving the following three issues. A. Concerns raised regarding junior secondary school education. B. The new university funding model for university education. And C. The acceptability of competencies-based curriculum, CBC. To this end, the committee has engaged the State Department of Higher Education and Research and was informed that the National Committee formed on September 16, 2024 to review and refine the new university funding model, officially known as the Variable Scholarship and Loan Funding Model, had prepared a report that was to be presented to the President. The committee was scheduled to retreat with the Ministry of Education on the findings and recommendations on the report and on the other two issues raised in the motion. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. This is Senator Betty Montet, MP, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Education.
Thank you, Senator Betty. Now, honorable members, before I allow you to make comments on the statements under 56 and 52, there is a statement by Senator Sifuna that had been approved by the chair. I will allow Senator Sifuna to make that statement. Thereafter, I will allow members to make comments on both statements under Standing Order 56 and those under Standing Order 53. Proceed, Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your kind indulgence. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement of general and global concern, namely the passing on of Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church and sovereign of the Vatican State, who died on Easter Monday, 21st April 2025, at the ripe age of 88. I join the rest of the world in celebrating the life of arguably the most liberal and progressive Pope ever. His death is a huge loss to progressives of all shades across the world. Mr. Speaker, as a practicing Catholic myself and one who has had the privilege to see 3 popes in my life, with a 4th about to start his term, I have had time to reflect on the values and principles that the leader of the Holy See usually bestows on the Catholic community, the largest religious denomination across the world. In my reflections, I have come to understand that the key qualities that made Pope Francis unique on the stellar role of popes were his genuine compassion, his grace towards the poor and the vulnerable, his deep belief in the principles of inclusivity, and the mighty hand of support he extended to the marginalized, including sexual and gender minorities, at times when these topics were anathema in most parts of the globe. Indeed, Pope Francis manifested courage in its pure form. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is meaningless to celebrate the lives of the departed if we do not take moments to ask what lessons we have drawn from them or their works. Predictably, many leaders in Kenya and in the world have had occasion since the death of the Pope to hail him as a great person, a wonderful human being, and a compassionate Jesuit. However, I have to point out to everyone that Pope Francis, while he served, declined the trappings of the papacy, preferring to live in a humble life to live a humble life in his Casa Santa Maria Marta residence, rather than the papal apartments used by his predecessors. Besides this, the Pope was a legendary believer and purveyor of the common touch philosophy, always preferring to reach out to the masses and to show compassion to the lowly. Indeed, the late Pontiff was a strong opponent of global economic models that enriched a few and widened the gap between the rich and the poor, often pointing out the unsuitability of such economics. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is my strong contention, therefore, that mourning the Pope in flowery media releases while holding on to the exclusivity of right-wing politics, divisive ethnic rhetoric, corruption, and wanton theft of public resources is hypocritical, insofar as it runs counter to the principles held dear by the departed Pontiff. The Catholic Communion is often painted as a hugely conservative institution, and yet in the period that it has been led by a progressive liberal, the conversation around freedom, rights, and equality has been magnified more. The lesson being that a good person at the top is all it takes for a society to find its foot and move forward. I am hoping that this lesson will not be lost to both Catholics and non-Catholics as we seek a united front in socio-economic and political realms to empower our people and move our countries forward. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am inclined to express my hope that whoever becomes a new Pope will stay on the progressive path charted by the departed Pontiff, rather than returning the Holy See to the conservative arena. The challenges facing the Church and the world today require a new focus, new methods, and a new vision. The Church and the political platform are now dominated by younger people, for whom conservative beliefs may not hold sway. Like Pope Francis, we are obligated to be more sympathetic to migrants, to gender and sexual minorities, to the vulnerable, and to the new face of the young voter, nearly all liberal. We have to spur action on climate change and build bridges across ethnic divides. We are now called upon to detach from the divisive rhetoric of our predecessors and embrace each other in our diversity, because we have no other option. This will be the greatest way to honor the memory and work of Pope Francis. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, honorable members, I will allow you to make comments. And as earlier on indicated, we will make comments on all or any of the statements that has been issued pursuant to Standing Order 53.1, and those issued pursuant to Standing Order 56.1b by the respective chairpersons of the committees. And I'll start, Senator Maureen Tabitha. Do you wish to?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Allow me to make comments on the first statement for Senator Osose, Vihiga County, Mr. Speaker. And this is in regards to the issue of expired drugs in the different counties. Mr. Speaker, currently as we speak, I'm currently serving in the Committee of Health. And a few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks, we were able to visit different counties, Wajir, Marsabit, and Mandera. Mr. Speaker, I can confirm that during our inspection, especially in Mandera County, we came across expired drugs and drugs that were also missing as per the records. Mr. Speaker, as I've always said, my first profession was pharmacy. I've practiced pharmacy, and so I'm familiar to the regulations of the Pharmaceutical Board. Mr. Speaker, we even realize the pharmacists who are in these pharmacies are using their own personal laptops to be able to input data and have the data in their own personal laptops, instead of the counties providing a digital system that they can be able to use, can be able to check even the stocks of the same drugs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we even realized some hospitals did not even have farm techs, leave alone pharmacists. The prescription and issuance of the drugs was a question. And I want to add the CEO, Dr. Fred Sioi, of Pharmacy and Poison Board. He has to wake up. He has to wake up. He has to do something. All the governors actually told us after SHA was implemented, there have been so many pharmacies that have been opened, so many private clinics that have been opened, and most of them being suspected to be owned by the same pharmacists and the same clinical officers who are still working within the county. It's a high time that the Pharmacy and Poisons Board cracks the whip to ensure that competent, qualified personnel, as far as the pharmaceutical industry is concerned, are the ones dispensing the drugs. How the drugs have also been stored, Mr. Speaker, it's a total disappointment. Seems that they are not doing the inspections that they're supposed to do because the places were dusty. In one of the counties, we came across drugs that have expired and are on the shelves, Mr. Speaker. And, you know, Mr. Speaker, you look at then where is the problem? These people are the ones, we have the CEOs in these institutions who are mandated and who have the responsibility to oversight, ensure that the systems are also being followed by the staff in the different departments. And sometimes we want to blame the leadership and the executive, yet we have the people who have been given this role, but they are not doing their job. So this is an issue that is cutting across most of these counties. The statement by Senator Alan Chesang on the inspection of the Kitale, is it? The health services from Kitale level 5 to level 4. I want to say that we as a health committee, we are going to traverse across all counties. Governors, be prepared because we are going to continue inspecting these hospitals. It is very sad, Mr. Speaker, you go to inspect a hospital, a maternity wing, whereby even the washrooms do not have water. It's only maybe one bathroom, which is not even having water. The taps have run dry. There are no even doors. And you'll ask, have you been collecting SHA? Is SHA working? All the hospitals told us that SHA is working. How much have you collected? They've collected over 10 million, over 15 million. And how much is a door? How much is a tap? How much is even a water tank, for Christ's sake? You look at the condition of this hospital, it is a disappointment, Mr. Speaker. So I want to say, because I can see my chair is not here, my vice chair, but I want to say these issues of health, we are going to go to the bottom. With my experience as a pharmacist, I'm going to input, because I was even able to inspect key drugs, Mr. Speaker. One of those drugs is called diazepam. All the counties that I visited, that drug was missing. That drug was short, was less as per the cards and the records. And these are drugs that are in key and lock. Most of the pharmacists, when I asked them, why is there a difference? Why do you have a short of this drug? They didn't have answers. To them, it was coming as a surprise. It was actually shocking them. So these are issues that we are going to get to the bottom of it completely. On the issue of still the same statement by Alan Chesang in terms of the revenue measures and all that, this is an issue that within the Committee of Finance, when it comes to revenue collection, we are still talking to National Treasury to be able to speed up. There's a system that is supposed to be a uniform system to ensure that the counties are able to maximize on their own source revenue when we have a system that is uniform, that is able to be used, that cuts across all counties. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Karen Nyamu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to make my comments on the statement by Senator Osotsi regarding the presence of expired medication in our public hospitals. Mr. Speaker, this issue of having expired medication in our public hospitals is a significant one, and it has continued to be persistent. The Auditor General has kept raising the issue and flagging the presence of expired medication in our public hospitals. Mr. Speaker, what this means, it means financial wastage, because these medications cost a lot of money, and this money is exchequer money. Mr. Speaker, what this means is that the safety of the patient is in question, because you cannot swear that a patient in such a facility will not encounter expired drugs, Mr. Speaker. It also means that since these drugs and this medication has to be disposed with at the end of the day, it poses environmental issues and issues of pollution to the environment, Mr. Speaker. The presence of expired medication in our hospitals also points at the low quality and reduced quality of healthcare in that particular facility. Mr. Speaker, why does this happen? What are the reasons why we keep having this issue, persistently having expired medication in our public hospitals? Poor inventory system, where we have oversupply of a certain drug and other drugs are in shortage. Mr. Speaker, you know that that is an oxymoron. On the ground, Kenyans are complaining every day that despite visiting these medical facilities, there are no drugs, and they have to get prescriptions to go and buy or purchase these drugs out of the hospital. Which brings me to a very key point, Mr. Speaker, that practitioners in these public hospitals, pharmacists, often prefer prescribing drugs to patients so that they can go and buy those drugs outside because they already are running pharmacists. I want to laud the Mombasa County government because recently it has declared that it will no longer renew licenses for pharmacies that are operating in the proximity of public hospitals. And I want to urge other county governments to follow suit and enforce such a directive across the counties, Mr. Speaker. We don't have storage facilities, proper storage facilities in some of these hospitals. I want to urge the Committee of Health in this House, Mr. Speaker, to ensure, because I've heard that they're going to go around the whole country tackling this particular issue of expired drugs in our public hospitals. I want them to be able to facilitate or make sure that these hospitals don't not only reprimanded but are also facilitated with proper storage, space, and facilities, Mr. Speaker. I also suggest and put forward my suggestion that we need to digitize this space whereby we run an inventory that can forecast the expiry of drugs. We are fond of getting medical donations. Some of these donations do not align with what is needed on the ground. We do not have to take everything that we are being given in form of medical donations, because some of them are not even what we use as a country. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I also want to comment on the statement by Senator Sifuna on the late Pope Francis. I am not a Catholic, but Pope Francis was one of the popes who caught my interest because of a lot of the stands he took. He was very open and very outspoken about global affairs. He spoke about the war in Gaza. He was open about the LGBTQ movement in the globe. And I want to state that just because I admired his outspokenness does not mean that I support the LGBTQ movement. I think my stand is known, my preference is out there. And as we mourn the Pope, we have seen that there are proposed African popes to take over from him. I don't know why Senator Boni Halole is laughing. It may sound far-fetched, but at least for the first time, we are having a possibility of a black pope. It is a huge step in the right direction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cherargei Samson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to comment on two statements. One is I want to commensurate and pass my deepest condolences to the Catholics across the globe for the unfortunate demise of Holy Father Pope Francis. Mr. Speaker, he was the unlikely Pope. If you watch the movie called Conclave in Netflix, it tries to watershed on how Pope Francis became the Pope, coming from South America, where we have the largest Catholics, Mr. Speaker, sir. He was one of the reformers, what we call reformist Pope, who spoke against war in Gaza, which was unlikely, Mr. Speaker, and you have seen even videos where he is engaging people in Gaza and the priests that are already in Gaza. We know what is happening and we continue to pray. And he had a clarion call that we should have a peaceful globe across. The Speaker, even as we celebrate his legacy, we must continue to have humanity, we must continue to have a peaceful world, and we must continue to push for an equitable, an equal society across various nations, Mr. Speaker. So to the entire leading billions of people, Mr. Speaker, from Vatican, it has been a very interesting service of Pope Francis. And as he rests, Mr. Speaker, you even saw his funeral service, embodied simplicity, which he did as alive as the pontiff of the largest religions in the world. Mr. Speaker, I want to join colleagues. There is a Ghanaian cardinal, among others, even the one from DRC. Mr. Speaker, I think it's a high time that the conclave, as they even retreat from tomorrow, Mr. Speaker, to consider giving us a black pope. Africans has been loyal Catholics, and I think it's the high time, the first time to have a South American pope by the name of Pope Francis. We had German Ratzinger, who resigned midway because of health reasons, Mr. Speaker. I think it's high time that we hope to have a black pope for the first time in the history of Roman Catholic across the world, Mr. Speaker. So as we celebrate, Mr. Speaker, I'm not conversing, it's not allowed in conclave because they have even switching on signals. I was just saying it is the wish of many Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. So may the perpetual right shine to him, Mr. Speaker, as he rests in peace. And the Catholic Church will continue in pushing for both. And Mr. Speaker, you know, Catholics have done a lot in education sector, in health sector. Mr. Speaker, we should ensure that we support the Catholic Church and all other churches and all other religions to push for a better society in education, in health, and in governance issues, Mr. Speaker. And also, I wish Cardinal John Jue could have participated, but because of health reasons, Mr. Speaker, he could not participate in conclave. I'm happy that the Bishop Anyola has clarified that he was indeed invited to participate in voting in conclave. We wish Cardinal John Jue all the best and quick recovery. He would have been part of the cardinals who have taken in conclave and ensure we have a new pontiff that will be very critical. You know, Mr. Speaker, Vatican is one of the smallest states in the world, but as the sovereign status that can, and Mr. Speaker, he even visited this nation, so I hope the next Pope will also visit this country and be able to commune and be part of pushing for the agenda of equity, Mr. Speaker, and decency among the morals. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, finally, on the issue of statement by the Committee on Agriculture, Mr. Speaker, I expect the Chair of Agriculture to tell us the status of crop raising CN as we continue, and even the distribution of fertilizers in the country. Mr. Speaker, we need to stop playing politics with agriculture. I saw the former CS of Agriculture, courtesy of Senator Metu, trying to cast aspersions. Yet during the investigation of the scandal of fake fertilizer, he was at the center of it, Mr. Speaker. Why did he say when he was the minister? Mr. Speaker, and therefore, those are for political expedience. You know, Mr. Speaker, these people want to run for some seat and their only agenda, they don't have it. When the scandal of fake fertilizer, in fact, when the National Assembly wanted to impeach, the investigations placed the former CS at the center of the fake fertilizer scandal, Mr. Speaker. So this media sensationalism, I want to challenge the Committee of Agriculture to table their report on fake fertilizer. You will find in that report that the former CS Mithika Linturi was at the center of fake fertilizer. He should not now twist the story and try. You know where I come from, Mr. Speaker? When the T9 bites you, when it bites a dog, that dog becomes a T9 and wants to bite everybody in the village. So you cannot be threatening us by telling us that allegedly that some individuals outside him was involved in fake fertilizer scandal. He must tell us where the donated fertilizer went to. He was the Minister of Agriculture and the buck stops with him. And I hope the media will be bold enough to ask him in the report by the National Assembly when he was supposed to be impeached or to be removed by vote of no confidence. Why did he have the energy that he's trying to blackmail and intimidate? I want to challenge the president not to be intimidated or blackmailed by non-profiteers and auctioneers of politics, Mr. Speaker. I know he wants to blackmail government so that he can be paid gratuity after serving as the CS. We should not allow that blackmail to happen in this country. Our politics must be hygienic, and it is embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, our farmers from Nyandarua, from Nandi, from Kericho. Mr. Speaker, we want to see this the first time when President William Ruto took over, fertilizer was 7,000 shillings. He has subsidized to 2,500. All farmers, Mr. Speaker, not only maize farmers, tea farmers, grocery farmers, sugarcane farmers, can now access fertilizer in our NCPP board. In fact, this year, Mr. Speaker, to report as a farmer, we have not had any scandals of fake fertilizer, unlike when Linturi was in office. It means he was the problem. I was in Lesos NCPP, Mr. Speaker. I was in Celia, Mosoriot, in Maraba NCPP. They are all types of fertilizer and they are up to standard. So who was the problem in the Ministry of Agriculture? It was the CS Linturi, Mr. Speaker. This year, Mr. Speaker, even in Bomet, we have never had any even single complaint on the supply of fertilizer. What I challenge the counties, and I know other counties are doing, you know my county is an autopilot. We have an inept governor called Sang who has decided to autopilot everything. If my county can do last mile distribution of fertilizer, it will assist farmers. And I want to challenge governors across the country, Mr. Speaker, including Governor Jobri and Governor Barjok and Governor Badilisha, to do last mile distribution of fertilizers to save farmers on transport costs, Mr. Speaker, so that it becomes cheaper at the end of the day. I want to challenge NCPB to ensure that there is top dressing, the urea and CN, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that farmers have access to the fertilizer, Mr. Speaker. So I expected Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the Agriculture Committee to tell us. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I saw the CS of Agriculture, CS Mutai Kagwe, is currently in Kericho, Mr. Speaker, discussing about issues of bonuses. Mr. Speaker, we want to be told which mathematics and complications that when you go to another region in this country, they are getting highest bonus up to 68 shillings. But when you come to Nandi, we are getting as low as 17 shillings. Which magic are they doing here in Mombasa that we are being told tea from Western Kenya amounting 34 billion has not yet sold, but from one region are being sold, Mr. Speaker? I hope CS Mutai Kagwe is not doing a PR exercise in Kericho as we talk today. He must tell the farmers of Kericho, of Nandi, of Bomet, and across Western Kenya, why is it that we are getting less bonuses, Mr. Speaker? You and me know, and Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, whenever we are in weekend, one question that our farmers ask her is only constant. Why is our bonuses lowest in this region than other regions, Mr. Speaker? So I want to challenge CS Mutai Kagwe that as he are working on the issue of tea, he must tell us what is the problem with this issue of tea. And I hope as we do sector reforms of tea, Mr. Speaker, the friend of Metu should tell us why he stole and objected the reforms of tea sector, which farmers should have reaped. And I remember Senator Aaron Cheruiyot hosted us for the tea conference, We must reap fruits for the guarantee minimum returns for the betterment of a tea farmer, a sugarcane farmer, a coffee farmer, and a maize farmer. With your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, I support all those statements. I thank you.
Senator Cherage, it is not called Western region in the sugar, not sugar, but tea. It's called West of the Rift. The West of the Rift is Nandi, Kericho, Bomet, and the Western region. That is the region called the West of the Rift. Honorable Senators, there being no other member who is a Senate Majority Leader, you are not on. You have just made that request, and I definitely will allow you to make your comments.
On the report from the Devolution Committee, but they have since left, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm deeply concerned. I listened to the presentation by, I think, the Senator Kamar on behalf of the Devolution Committee on the activities that committee has undertaken. And I'm particularly worried, Mr. Speaker, because of the situation that's pertaining in the neighboring county of Kisii. No, not Kisii, Nyamira, rather, Mr. Speaker, where there are 2 county assemblies, Mr. Speaker. It will be interesting to know why, up to now, we are unable to resolve what appears to me to be a pretty straightforward issue. I said it when this matter first came to this House, Mr. Speaker, that the easier thing to do is to establish which of these institutions is a controller of budget funding and allowing release of funds to, Mr. Speaker. Who is the clerk? Because clerks are gazetted, Mr. Speaker, and it is known. Therefore, it is important for the clerk, who's the administrator of the county assembly, duly recognized by the government, Mr. Speaker, to come and appear before the House and confirm to which house does he owe allegiance to of these so-called 2 houses. There can only be one, Mr. Speaker, and what is the situation that pertains there. I wanted to listen to the presentation from that committee on how they have succeeded, Mr. Speaker, in securing justice for the people of Nyamira who continue to suffer because of lack of the services of primary oversight. Because a dysfunctional assembly, Mr. Speaker, means that nobody is actually checking the going-ons in the county executive of Nyamira. And perhaps you would not place Governor Nyaribo very far away from this dispute, because he benefits the more. A weekend assembly, Mr. Speaker, benefits more the executive more than any other person, because it means they're able to have a free hand and a free rein in the things that are happening, and they're able to do whatever it takes. Mr. Speaker, I would also wish to register my concerns with that particular committee with regards to another issue that has emerged in our county governments, Mr. Speaker. We said this when we were passing the CPIC reports towards the close of the session, not actually the session, but the period before we went on recess, Mr. Speaker, where we hurriedly passed, I think, almost 50 reports combined here on very topical issues in our county governments, issues of maladministration, Mr. Speaker, governance challenges, and so on and so forth. It is not right, Mr. Speaker, that featuring prominently from the Devolution Committee, nothing has been said actually with that regard on what we as a Senate need to do, because it's not a good situation when we are being told that on average 90 to 99% of the counties, Mr. Speaker, are spending on average 10 to 20% only of all these funds that you're talking about as devolved funds on development. The rest, Mr. Speaker, is on recurrent expenditure, Mr. Speaker, and other charges, you know, that were not the original intent of devolution, Mr. Speaker. Devolution Committee must lead this House into a conversation, Mr. Speaker, whether we as a House are concerned with this situation and are happy to contend and leave it as it is, Mr. Speaker. There is no need to fight here and say push the figures to 450 billion, Mr. Speaker, yet we know that close to 80% is going to pay salaries and have people travel, Mr. Speaker. On average, every county, perhaps you'd find only hardly 2 to 3% of the county population works in the county government. if that 2 to 3% in their service provision, Mr. Speaker, is consuming close to 50% of the funds that we are devolving, is that really the original intention of devolution, Mr. Speaker? I don't think that's the case. And therefore, as a House, we must make difficult decisions and guide counties, hold their hands, help them to make the right decisions so that they are prudent use of resources, Mr. Speaker. PFM is not a suggestion, Mr. Speaker. It is a set of rules that we are actually duty-bound as a House to ensure that we enforce its compliance with, Mr. Speaker, and ensure, Mr. Speaker, that county governments actually follow through with what was the intended purpose of those particular regulations that we have passed here on many occasions. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, apart from these county visits that we are increasingly getting to hear, that this committee visited this particular place, it's a good thing for committees to visit. But I'd wish, Mr. Speaker, that we'd address ourselves to more concrete and substantial issues, Mr. Speaker, that will help the country appreciate and know that the Senate has taken its place, and our duty of oversight, Mr. Speaker, is something that we take quite seriously. I am further even concerned, Mr. Speaker. I say this towards the end of last session, that it is possible for us as a House, Mr. Speaker, to develop the tools through which we can measure the performance of a county government. And Senate gives a fair and objective appraisal of all the 47 county governments based on the indices that we develop, Mr. Speaker. This is not rocket science. These are things that are available, Mr. Speaker. How a county treats pending bills, what percentage of their resources they are dedicating to development, Mr. Speaker, on-source revenue growth as a factor of that particular issue, Mr. Speaker, corruption indexes, the cases that are being reported, completion of projects, Mr. Speaker, budget implementation, absorption of the budget. These are things that we know, and they are available in all the 47 county governments, which, Senator Mungatana, surely, you want to tell me that as a House, if the devolution committee was to lead us, and the budget and finance, or if it's difficult for them, those of us that take our legislative duties seriously, like yourself, Senator Cherargei here, the Speaker, and so many of us here, Mr. Speaker, we can develop the tools. Why do you have to wait for some dubious institutions, Senator Mungatana, to rank governors and troop them here to Nairobi and say, oh, Governor this has performed? Yet we know how people secure these things. That's a stupidity of the highest order. Even a governor who goes to pose for pictures with those things, Mr. Speaker, is a con man that the people of that county should quickly reject, Mr. Speaker. Because what basis has been used to indicate your performance? Yet we know the tools that we can use to measure the performance of a county government. And that is a responsibility which we as Senate cannot pass on to any other person. These are things that we need to do ourselves, colleagues senators, and ensure that we set the indices together with the Parliamentary Budget Office, develop the framework and the formula such that when it is applied and weighted, you can see the performance of a county government and objectively are able to assess, Mr. Speaker, and say, this is what we know about it and the things that are happening. Mr. Speaker, I had earlier raised an issue of the Senate Oversight Fund, which I hope that at the right time we'll get an opportunity to explain to the citizens of this republic why that fund is important and should be made available to senators. I have said we can make do without it because we have stayed without it for the last 10 plus years, and there's nothing new about it, Mr. Speaker. In fact, we operate better when there are no resources that are attached to us and nobody can ask and say, you misappropriated this or the other, Mr. Speaker. But we have said we'd be more effective as a House if we hired the correct pool of people to work with us in ensuring that the function of oversight in the office of the senator in the counties, Mr. Speaker, is properly tackled and handled. However, Mr. Speaker, that being something that is under consideration, I hope that citizens will be fair arbiters in this process, and eventually when we get the chance to take this bill to the citizens and explain our perspective of it, especially with regards to devolution, Mr. Speaker, we will make the right decision. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I take note, judicial notice of the fact that it's a few seconds to the rise of the House, and therefore I quickly conclude my comments. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Senator Aaron Turiat, Majority Leader. Shall we rise, honorable members? It is Honorable Senators, it is now 6:30 p.m. Time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 7th May 2025 at 9:30 a.m.